Chapter 921. Ping ping pang. Ah. One more. Wow. The miasma here was so thick that one couldn't see what was inside from 3 meters away. Third Aunt Du was outside the miasma and couldn't see what was happening inside. She could only hear the continuous wailing and couldn't help but worry about Sima Yue. But she couldn't go in, so she could only anxiously pace back and forth outside. Sanyang, you don't have to worry. They've even dealt with the poisonous creatures in the inner circle, not to mention the ringed silkworms. Ruali comforted her by her side. What's more, although those ringed silkworms are fierce and aggressive, their battle prowess isn't that strong. I believe they will be out soon. Yes. Third Aunt Du said. I hope so. Little Seven's battle prowess is impressive, but I can't see through Yoyue's senior brother. That person indeed gave off a very deep feeling, Ruali said. Furthermore, I always felt that he had an aura that I didn't like. Previously, I thought it was a dark aura, but the aura emanating from his body was indeed a light aura. Furthermore, he had cultivated the Sage Pavilion's mental cultivation method, which gave people a pure and holy feeling. That's why I feel like I'm wrong. So strange? Third Aunt Du said. Could he be a dangerous person? Maybe I was wrong back then. Ruali said. You know, we green silkworms are close to nature, so we are more sensitive to dark things. We can sense even the slightest bit of disharmony. I know what you're capable of, Third Aunt Du said. But this time you may be really wrong. Yoyue's senior brother is the holy son of the Sage Pavilion, and is also the disciple of the divine Devil Valley's Valley Lord. Naturally, he wouldn't be someone of the dark attribute. Maybe I was wrong, Ruali said. Don't burn it. Don't burn them. The screams from inside interrupted their conversation. When Third Aunt Du heard this, she smiled and said, Looks like Yue won. I already said that you don't have to worry, Ruali said. Inside the poisonous miasma, the little vermilion bird wandered around in the forest. From time to time it would bump into a tree. A 10,000-year-old tree turned into ashes in a few breaths of time. Sima Yue played with the flame in her hand. Facing the ringed silkworm that was crying for its parents after being beaten by the 3 of them, she said, How about it? Do you guys want to have a taste of our little birdie's power? No, the ringed silkworm king cried. We're willing to listen to you. Don't burn any more. Didn't you want to fight with us? Little Seven waved her fist. The ringed silkworm king looked at her and hurriedly kowtowed to beg for mercy, saying, We won't dare, we won't dare. We were wrong just now, we were wrong. Young lady, please don't take it to heart. Humph, what a spineless fellow. Little Seven looked at its cowardly appearance. Where was the imposing manner of a king? Look at Jiuyin, that temperament, that's called noble and flawless. This poison silkworm king was too cheap. I'm not going to talk nonsense with you. Sima Yue said. I'm here for something. What's the matter? The ringed silkworm king asked with trepidation. We want your silk. You want our silk. The ringed silkworm king was stunned, then asked very sensibly, How much do you want? All of it. All of it. The entire ringed silkworm clan cried out. Who? Little birdie flew around them in a circle, scaring them so much that they quickly lay down and didn't dare to move. Little Seven gave little birdie a flirtatious look. Smart little fellow. We have some silk these years. If you want it, you can take it. The ringed silkworm king said. It's not enough. Sima Yue shook her head. It's not enough? The ringed silkworm king really didn't know what else to do. I've built a force in the central regions. In the future, we'll develop the spirit cloth industry. Sima Yue said. I want you to provide us with silk. If you're willing to join our force, you'll be one of us in the future. Sima Yue said. If you're one of us, you'll be able to gain a lot of benefits. If you're not willing to join, we're very cruel to outsiders. Maybe we'll pull them over and beat them up. Little Seven threatened. Hearing her words, their bodies subconsciously trembled. If we join, what benefits will we get? The ringed silkworm king asked. I heard that other than eating poison, you also like to eat tincture and medicinal herbs. Sima Yue said. As for poison, we don't have the ability to produce it on a large scale, but we can still satisfy you with the other 2 things. If you follow us, at least you won't have to waste your energy to find tincture and medicinal herbs. How about it? I want to discuss with my clan. The ringed silkworm king said. I'm an enlightened king. The three of them were speechless as they looked at that dark and fat fellow. This narcissistic and ugly fellow really made people want to poke their own eyes out. Go. Sima Yue said. I'll give you 10 minutes. A group of serial silkworms dragged their injured bodies together and began to talk to each other. In order not to let Yue and the rest hear what they were saying, they still used their own clan's language. After 10 minutes, Sima Yue coughed, and those fellows immediately ran behind the ringed silkworm king. Have you finished discussing? She asked. Yes. The ringed silkworm king said. If you want us to join you, we can do that, but we can't be short on tincture and medicinal herbs. No problem. Sima Yue agreed. Also, you can't let us leave here. The ringed silkworm king said. We've lived here for a few generations. If you ask us to leave, it's the same as asking us to leave our home. We don't agree. We don't plan to let you migrate. Sima Yue said. You can stay here for as long as you want. Really? Why would I lie to you? Sima Yue said. We asked you to join us just so that you can produce silk for us. It's not like we want you to sell your bodies. Although they didn't like the word sell, they didn't have to leave here, and there were still tincture and medicinal herbs to sell. If they wanted the silk, they could take it. Okay, then we promise you, we'll join your clan. The ringed silkworm king said. Okay, after I've researched the antidote for the inner region, someone will contact you. Sima Yue said. Now you can hand over all the silk you produced before. There's one more request. The ringed silkworm king said. Since we're part of you, you have to protect us if any poisonous creatures come to invade us. If you're part of us, no one in Heartbreak Valley can bully you. Sima Yue said. But if you go out and do evil, then don't blame us for not caring. Okay. Having this guarantee was better than having no guarantee. The ringed silkworm king comforted itself, and then ordered its people to move the silk it produced in advance. Chapter 922. After a while, the ringed silkworms finally moved out all their stock. Sima Yue kept her word. She took their silk and left them with many crystals and herbs. When the ringed silkworms saw the crystals and herbs, they excitedly pounced on them. Even the ringed silkworm king was no longer reserved. Well, they never knew what it meant to be reserved. Sima Yue and the rest shook their heads and left the forest. They were both spirit silkworms, and the grade of their silk was not far apart. Why was there such a huge difference in their temperaments? Seeing them come out, Third Aunt Du's heart finally calmed down and said, How was it? With us taking action, there will definitely be no problem. Sima Yue stuffed a space ring into her hand. This is their silk from the past. I'll leave it in your care. Okay. Sima Yue was in charge of this as she did not know how to use it. Third Madam, I've already spoken with them. I'll send someone to contact them in the future. You can take them over once I've figured out the antidote. Sima Yue said. Third Aunt Du nodded. Leave the matter of the spirit silkworm and spirit cloth to me. As Yoyue's elder, she wanted to share some of her burden when she saw how busy she was. Sanyang, let me tell you, you don't have to be gentle with those fellows in here, as long as... Little Seven ran over and pulled Sanyang's hand, talking as they walked out. Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu followed behind and looked at their backs in amusement. Senior brother, thank you. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have been able to solve the problem of the spirit silkworm so easily. Sima Yue said gratefully. She didn't have time to think about the problem of spirit silkworms, but he had figured out the habits of the two types of spirit silkworms and told her how to deal with them. It was because of him that everything went so smoothly for her this time. You have to be sincere when you thank me. Wu Lingyu whispered into her ear. The atmosphere between the two of them instantly became ambiguous. Sima Yue pushed his head away and said, I'll treat you to a drink tonight. Is this considered sincere? Drink. I like it. Wu Lingyu said. But do you think we should do something after drinking? Are you trying to do something to me by treating me to a drink? 3 black lines slid down her forehead. Was this guy taking advantage of her? Looks like it's not good to drink. Forget it. I'll change my way of expressing my gratitude, Sima Yue said. She took out a bright red strawberry and stuffed it into his mouth, saying, "This is more sincere and safer. I've already thanked you. Don't say that I'm insincere in the future." Wu Lingyu ate the strawberry in one bite and whispered in her ear, "Strawberries, I like strawberries." Sima Yue blushed. Why did Wu Lingyu's tone remind her of the little strawberry that people often talked about in her previous life? But when he turned his head to take a look, the expression on this guy's face couldn't be any more normal. It looked as if he really liked to eat strawberries. Seeing her shy look, Wu Lingyu laughed in his heart. He kissed her face and said, "This is a sincere reward." Sima Yue glared at him. Fortunately, San Yang and Little Seven had walked to the front and didn't notice them. Otherwise, she would definitely beat him up. "Let's go." Wu Lingyu naturally held her hand and led her back. Little Seven turned around and blinked at the two of them. She heard everything. This little guy. Sima Yue looked at Little Seven in amusement. "What did Grandpa say to you when we were eating that day?" "You want to know?" Wu Lingyu asked. Yes. She wanted to know how Grandpa and the others saw him. "Grandpa said that he won't interfere in our matters. He agreed that we should be together," Wu Lingyu said. The first sentence was true, but the second sentence was just his imagination. But that was what Grandpa meant, so he didn't twist his understanding. "Grandpa really said that? Grandpa also said that he wants me to marry you as soon as possible." "Impossible. You must be making it up. Grandpa wouldn't say that. Grandpa wouldn't want me to get married as soon as possible. Hee, something like that." Wu Lingyu said, "But the boyfriend you mentioned in the chaotic realm, am I your boyfriend now? Can you do what I said?" Sima Yue asked back. "Aren't I doing it now?" Sima Yue broke free from his hand and ran out. She turned around and smiled. "Then we'll talk about being a boyfriend after you've done it." After saying that, she ran back. But the moment she turned around, she fell into an embrace. "Yue, be my woman." Sima Yue didn't expect this guy to teleport. Before she could react, a certain someone's affectionate words came from above her head. Her heart instantly sped up. She didn't know how to answer him. Her language skills seemed to be stuck at this moment. Wu Lingyu didn't wait for her reply and asked, "You don't want to?" A certain someone was still silent. Wu Lingyu sighed and said, "All right, forget it if you don't want to be my woman." Sima Yue's heart ached for no reason. She only thought about it for a while and he gave up. But before the pain spread, she felt him kiss her hair and said, "Since you don't want to be my woman, I won't force you. However, let me be your man." Boom! A warm current spread from her heart, filling her heart to the brim. Then, it spread to her limbs and bones, making her whole body feel warm. "Yue, isn't my suggestion good? Do you agree?" Wu Lingyu let go of her and looked into her eyes seriously. "You want to be my man?" she asked. "Yes. But there are many requirements to be my man. The most important one is that you can only have me in your eyes and in your heart. Can you do that? Look at my eyes." Wu Lingyu said. "What do you see?" "Eye boogers." Sima Yue thought of a scene she saw in her previous life and couldn't help but laugh. All right, at such an important moment in her life, she shouldn't be thinking about such trivial things. Wu Lingyu saw the mischievous smile on her face and knew that she must have thought of something bad. He reached out his finger and scratched her nose, saying, "In my eyes and in my heart, in the past and in the future, there will only be you. I also belong to you. All right, since you're so sincere, I'll reluctantly agree to let you be my boyfriend. But I'll say it first. If you don't meet my standards, I'll have to change you." Since she also had feelings, why couldn't she have a taste of two people's lives? Wu Lingyu looked at her playful smile and hugged her waist, lowering his head to kiss her. "I won't let you have that chance. In the future, you're mine and I will also be yours." Chapter 923. You are mine and I am yours. It was a simple oath, gentle yet domineering. The gentle kiss was not as forceful as before, nor was it as light as a dragonfly skimming the surface of the water. It showed the two people's attachment to each other. This was the kiss of true love, Sima Yue thought. He didn't expect her to be distracted at this moment. Wu Lingyu held her head and deepened the kiss. She, who was still thinking about other things, was lost in the sea of gentleness following his rhythm. After kissing for a while, he finally let go of her. Seeing her delicate red lips, he couldn't help but kiss her again. Sima Yue took this opportunity to come back to her senses. She lightly hit his shoulder and said embarrassedly, "Third aunt and little seven are still in front." Wu Lingyu could feel the two people snickering in the distance. He kissed her lips again before letting go of her. However, he didn't let go of her. Instead, he grabbed her hand. At this moment, his heart was truly filled to the brim. It turned out that all this time, he hadn't been able to do anything because he hadn't had her. "Let's go. If we don't go, Sanyang and the others will laugh at us," Sima Yue said. "Sanyang and the others are experienced people. They won't laugh at us." Even though he said that, he still held her hand and walked back. He only caught up with them when they reached the next miasma. Third Aunt Du looked at Sima Yue's red lips and knew what the two of them had just done. Looking at their tightly clasped hands, there was nothing she didn't understand. "Lingyu." She looked at Wu Lingyu and said, "Can I call you that?" "Third Madam is Yue's elder, so she's naturally my elder as well," Wu Lingyu said. "Since you're with Yue, I won't say much. But now that you're together, you have to be good. You're not allowed to bully Yue." "Third Madam, don't worry. I definitely won't let you down," Wu Lingyu said sincerely. "I'll trust you first. I also trust Yue's judgment," Third Aunt Du said. "But if you let Yue down, we won't be so nice." "Yes, I will remember Third Madam's words," Wu Lingyu obediently replied. "Okay, then let's go back." Third Aunt Du turned and left. Sima Yue looked at Third Aunt Du, and then at Wu Lingyu. She snickered in her heart. When Third Aunt scolded people, she still had the aura of an elder. Wu Lingyu was also very polite in front of her relatives. This kind of well-behaved and obedient manner, whether it was as the holy son of the sage pavilion, or as the devil king of the devil realm, had never been seen before. Wu Lingyu saw the smile in her eyes and reached out to ruffle her hair. "Let's go." When they returned to the valley, with Little Seven's little microphone, the news of Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu being together quickly spread throughout the valley. Shimen Feng and Shimen Li were not surprised. Although they felt that it was a little fast, there were already signs. When the Shimen clan heard the news, they were all happy for Sima Yue. They knew some things about Sima Yue and heard that she had suffered so much. They also hoped that someone could be with her. Only Feng Kai and the other brothers were very surprised. Boss was really together with that man? They felt that their hearts were broken. Their boss was actually turned gay by this guy. It was Little Seven who saw that they were all in pain, and kindly told them that Yue was actually a girl. "Girl? You're saying that boss is a girl?" Anayani was stunned for a moment, and immediately jumped up from the stool. The others were not as exaggerated as him, but they had similar expressions. Little Seven dodged the tea that Dai spat out, and saw Shichen's cup fall to the ground and shatter. The tea lid even spun twice on the ground before stopping. "Yu is a girl. Do you have to be so surprised?" She dug her ears and was almost deafened by Inayani. "Of course we're surprised." Inayani shouted. "How can boss be a girl? How can boss be a girl? Boss is actually a girl." "Woo, my heart is seriously hurt. Don't tell me you want Yu to be a guy? And then be together with Brother Lingyu. A guy? Damn, so you have such a strong taste." Little Seven shouted. Pay, what strong taste, I don't want boss to do such a thing." Inayani shouted. "But boss is a girl. Boss is actually a girl. So what if she's a girl?" Little Seven couldn't understand their shock. For someone who is only a fraction of our age but stronger than us, it's already unacceptable that she's a guy. Now she's actually saying that she's a girl. This is too much of a blow, Dai said. "TSK, you guys value boys over girls. I'm not talking to you guys anymore." Little Seven waved her hand, and ignored the 10 people who were so shocked that they couldn't find their bearings. "Big brother, boss is actually a girl." Inayani looked at Fengji. I heard what Little Seven said. Fengji's expression was indifferent as he leaned back in his chair. Among the 10 brothers, he was the calmest. Big brother is so calm. Anayani said. Aren't you surprised? I'm surprised, Fengji said. But being surprised doesn't change anything. Boss is still boss. Sai, it's really a huge blow, Dai said. Actually, when boss was a guy, you guys weren't so shocked. Now that she's a girl, you guys find it hard to accept. Fengji said. Little Seven is right. You guys value boys over girls. Second brother and the rest are just as shocked as us. Anayani said. Sai, I need to digest this news. Really, it's too much of a blow. Actually, you shouldn't be shocked because she's a girl. Instead, you should think that this girl is actually taken. That's the real blow. It seemed to make sense. Sai, if we knew boss was a girl, then we would have made the first move. Anayani held his chest and shouted. Forget it. With your unreliable appearance, even if we knew boss wouldn't like you, you should stop for a while, Fengji said. Really, I can't even think about it. Anayani was shocked and decided to ignore him for 2 days. Boss is already so handsome in men's clothing. I wonder how stunning she would be if she were to dress as a girl, Kongren said. Why don't you guys give boss a suggestion and let her dress as a girl for us to see? Hongwoo said. You guys can go if you're not afraid of death. Sixth brother, I feel that boss won't beat you to death. Go and try. Just say that it's to comfort her hurt heart. Boss will definitely agree. Dai urged. I'll go. Anayani said. You guys wait. I'll definitely make boss dress as a girl for us to see. After saying that, he really ran out. This old six really went. Shurchin didn't manage to catch him in time. He shook his head and said, Boss won't beat him up, but that holy son might. Chapter 924. Half an hour later, Anayani returned. I'm back. Boss said that everyone will celebrate tomorrow night. At that time, she will wear women's clothes and go out. Anayani entered the door and said the news he had just received. Surprisingly, he came back with all 4 limbs intact. He didn't even have any dark circles under his eyes or wrinkles in his clothes. You actually came back in one piece. Daiyi's eyes widened as he looked at him in disbelief. Why are you so surprised that I came back in one piece? Your eyeballs almost fell out. Anayani returned to his previous seat and sat down. I say, you went to ask boss to wear women's clothing, Yusi asked. That's right. Anayani nodded proudly and said, I went to tell boss and asked if she was really a girl. She admitted it, and then I acted all hurt. In the end, I suggested for her to dress up as a girl. She said that she was going to wear women's clothes at the party tomorrow. Then I'll be back. No one beat you up? Hongwoo asked. No, Anayani said. Why? Are you all thinking that I'll get beaten up if I go? It's strange that he didn't get beaten up, Yusi said. That's right. No. Why do you think I'll be beaten up? Anayani didn't understand what the disappointment in these guys' eyes meant. Where's Wu Lingyu? I heard that he went back to pick someone up. Anayani said. I think he went to pick up boss's brothers. No wonder. Everyone revealed an expression of understanding. They knew it. How could he not be beaten if he rushed over like that? It turned out that it was because the person was not there. Only then did Anayani react. He jumped up and pointed at them, saying, Well, you all know that you'll get beaten up if you go, but you still want me to go. You guys are really. We couldn't hold you back. Who told you to run so fast? Shurchin said indifferently. He deliberately slowed down by a beat and didn't pull, but the nature was actually the same. Anayani understood this and sat back down to sulk. These guys, how come I've never seen them this bad before? I'll be able to see her in women's clothing tomorrow night. I'm really curious, Fengkai said. Yeah, I can't imagine it. We'll know tomorrow. This is the first time I've looked forward so much to a new day. I think so. Anayani was speechless. Couldn't they see that he was angry? All right, these guys were purposely ignoring him. The next day, in Sima Yoyua's courtyard, Shimin Li, third Aunt Du, and Xiaowu were helping Sima Yua dress up in the house. Sanyang, I don't need these things. Sima Yue removed the jewelry from her head. My head will break if I put so much jewelry on my head. Today is the founding day of the sect. You have to dress up well. Third Aunt Du said. Sanyang, the sect master, is Feng or not me. I don't need to dress up. Just act like before. Sima Yue said. Nominally, it's Feng but in everyone's hearts, you're the real sovereign. Third Aunt Du said. Everyone is looking forward to your makeup this time. Even so, you don't need these. Sima Yue looked at her empty hair in the mirror. She found a blood jade hairpin from the jewelry pile and inserted it into her hair. It's done. Today she was wearing a white dress. The red silk thread at the hem of the dress was embroidered with a lifelike phoenix. There were a few red patterns on the sleeves that corresponded to the phoenix, and a red belt around her waist showed off her slender figure. Now with the blood jade hairpin, it complemented the dress. Sister, do you want to put on makeup? Shimanli took out the makeup items and looked at Sima Yue. Sima Yue shook her head and refused. She hated to put these things on her face. Hee, sister doesn't need to put on these makeup. You look good too. Look at your skin. I'm afraid water will drip out if I touch it, Shimanli said. Speaking of which, sister and I are the same age, but sister looks younger than me. Your mouth is getting sweeter. Sima Yue looked at her in the mirror and smiled. Shimanli hugged Sima Yue from behind and said, no matter what sister becomes, she will always be my sister. The three of us siblings will always be together. Okay. Sima Yue smiled sweetly. Although she had gone through so much, although she still felt heartache when she thought about the past, she was already very grateful that she still had her family to accompany her. Do you think my future sister-in-law will come today? Shimanli asked. She should. Sima Yue said. Let's see if your second brother is fast enough. I can even see that you are my partner today. Hee, I will get to know my sister's friends after she was reborn. Shimanli said. I heard my sister talk about them a lot. I'm very curious about them. And your brothers, will they treat me as a sister too? If they know that they have a sister, they will be very happy. Sima Yue smiled and said. They always said that I don't have a sister, and that I can't satisfy their need to protect me. Now that they know that you are here, their need to protect me will definitely appear again. I was the younger one in the past, and I will still be the younger one in the future. Shimanli said. Actually, I want to be a sister too. It doesn't feel bad to have a younger one for me to protect. Yes, isn't Xiaowu younger than you? Sima Yue said. When the two of you are together in the future, you can protect Xiaowu. That's true. Shimanli said to Xiaowu. I will protect you in the future. Xiaowu pouted and said. I will be very powerful too. Even if you are powerful, you still need someone to protect you. Shimanli giggled and said. If a bad person bullies you, just tell me. I will help you beat him up. Sima Yue heard her tone and her head hurt. Li-er, don't always be with little Seven in the future. Why? Shimanli looked at her sister in confusion. She will pass her bandit aura to you, Sima Yue said. Chapter 925. Read 336. Little Seven looked at Shimanli, hoping that she could give her some hints. But why was she clenching her fist at him? That you, although you're very beautiful today, I'm a girl. You don't have to look at me so affectionately. Little Seven threw caution to the wind and threw herself into Sima Yue's embrace, smiling flatteringly. Save it. Sima Yue said. Didn't I tell you before that girls should be virtuous? Don't shout and kill for no reason. You still want to teach Li-er? Do you want to teach a girl who is as bandit as you? Is there? I don't think so, Little Seven said. I've always said that girls shouldn't use their fists if they don't have to. Isn't that right, Li-er? Yes. Li-er nodded and said in her heart. You only said to use your fists when you need to. You even taught her fist techniques? What if a girl goes out and meets a hooligan? I'm teaching her how to defend herself. Little Seven quibbled. Li-er has a human body. Your methods might not be suitable for her, Sima Yue said. That's why I didn't just casually teach him. I chose a set that suits him, Little Seven said. You're still quibbling. Sima Yue pinched little Seven's cheeks. Pfft, I heard you scolding people the moment I arrived. Bei Gongtang said. You're still scolding little Seven. Look at you. Aren't you using violence at the slightest provocation? Bei Gong is right. Yu, if the upper beam is not straight, the lower beam will be crooked too. I'm actually using you as a role model. Little Seven was grateful to her savior. If no one came, she would probably be scolded by Yue. It's been a long time since I've seen you in female clothing. Compared to the last time, you look even more charming. Bei Gongtang walked over and looked her up and down, praising her. The last time she wore women's clothing was when she was in the Restless Continent. Compared to that time, she now had a more ruthless and domineering aura, and her eyes had a hint of age. How are things in the school? Sima Yue let go of little Seven and asked. The ranking challenge is over. Everyone is cultivating in the academy. There's nothing much going on. Bei Gongtang said. It's just that once you and little Seven finished competing, you disappeared without a trace. The academy's students kept loitering around the dormitory entrance, wanting to see if they could find you. You want to challenge me? Sima Yue asked. It's not a challenge. At the end of the competition, little Seven had said that if anyone wanted to challenge her, they would have to defeat her first. With her around, who would dare to look for you? Bei Gongtang said. They just want to see if they can see you and witness your elegance. There are also some people who want to join the society. Our two leaders have been worrying about this for a long time. Later on, in order to avoid those people, everyone chose to go into seclusion. If you hadn't asked us to come this time, everyone would still be in seclusion. Where are the others? They're all waiting outside, Bei Gongtang said. They wanted to come in, but once they reached the valley, they heard that you and your senior brother were already together. They also heard that you were changing, so those guys didn't dare to come in. When Yu goes out, she will definitely shock everyone, little Seven said with a smile. That's right. I didn't feel it in the past, but now I realize that she's really a beauty. If your senior brother abandons you one day, will you follow me? Bei Gongtang said with a smile. All right, Sima Yue replied. This must be big sister Bei Gongtang. Shimanli looked at Bei Gongtang and said with a smile. Big sister, you're right. She's really pretty. Bei Gongtang looked at Shimanli with a questioning gaze. This is my younger sister Shimanli. Because I thought she was already dead, I didn't mention her to you guys. Sima Yue said. She was only 15 when the accident happened, so she's the same age as me now. Big sister said that in your team, there's an especially pretty sister. I think it's you. Shimanli said. Thank you for accompanying Big Sister in the past. If it wasn't for you guys, I don't even know what Big Sister would be like now. We came here together. Not only did we accompany her, she also accompanied us. Bei Gongtang said. Let's go. Since everyone's here, let's go out and meet them. Otherwise, they'll wait anxiously and try to kill me again. Sima Yue said. Even if you go out now, they'll definitely try to kill you when they see you like this. Bei Gongtang pulled Sima Yue's hand and walked out. The moment she opened the door, she saw everyone waiting in the courtyard. Sima Yulin and the others were talking in the courtyard. When they heard the movement, they turned around. The moment they saw Sima Yue come out, everyone was stunned. Oh my god, is this Yue? Fatty Chu looked at Sima Yue and his jaw almost dropped to the ground. I always thought that Bei Gongtang was beautiful. I didn't think that Yue would be even more beautiful after dressing up as a girl. Wei Ziqi couldn't help but exclaim. Haha, fifth bro. Fifth sis is really stunning after dressing up as a girl. Sima Yue saw their reactions. It's not like you guys haven't seen me in a dress before. Do you have to be so surprised? How old were you at that time? Your facial features weren't fully developed and your temperament was different. Also, after so many years, seeing you in male clothes every day made us forget that time you wore a dress. Sima Yuran said. Now that you've grown up, you look different. Third bro, you're teasing me too. Sima Yue glared at him. Why don't I see senior brother? After he sent us here, he said that he had something to settle and left. Sima Yulin said. Alright, she didn't know if it was about the Sage Pavilion or the Devil Realm. It wasn't good to ask. Let me introduce you. This is little sister Lear. These are big bro, second bro. Sima Yue introduced them one by one. Yue, why didn't I hear you mention that you have a little sister? Fatty Chu said. Hello little sister Lear. I'm your big bro Fatty. If anyone bullies you in the future, tell big bro Fatty and I'll help you beat them up. Sima Yue's face was filled with black lines. Third Aunt Du and Little Wu were laughing behind them. Just now Lear said something similar to Little Wu, causing Little Seven to be scolded by Sima Yue. Now Fatty Chu was doing it again. Looking at Yue's expression, she probably really wanted to beat someone up. Since you're fifth bro's little sister, then you're our little sister. Big bro will protect you in the future. Sima Yue said with a smile. Okay. Sima Li replied with a smile. Big bro, second bro, third bro, fourth bro, have you gone to see grandfather? Sima Yue asked. Not yet. We just arrived here as well. Sima Yuming said. Then let's go together. They should be in the valley in front now. When Feng comes back, we can start today's banquet. Sima Yue said. Little Seven covered her mouth and laughed secretly. Everyone had been waiting for her. When she went, it would definitely cause a commotion. Chapter 926. Read 336. Sima Yue's courtyard was at the top of the valley, and Shimen Feng's courtyard was beside hers. The valley was L-shaped. It was nearly a kilometer from their courtyard to the front of the valley, and they still had to make a turn. When she brought everyone over, the originally noisy valley immediately quieted down. Everyone stared blankly at the beautiful figure who had just arrived. This is boss. Dai drank the wine in his mouth and whispered. It's really, boss. And Ione felt that his heart was about to jump out of his chest, and his heart was about to jump out of his throat. No one dared to speak loudly for fear of ruining this beautiful moment. See, I told you. You'll definitely amaze everyone. Shimen Li whispered into Sima Yue's ear with a smile. Yue's charm can't be hidden even in men's clothes, let alone women's clothes. Bei Gong Tang teased from the other side. If you don't go over, their saliva will drip onto the ground. Sima Yue smiled. She had not worn a dress for a long time, and was not used to it. Just as she was about to go over, a spatial passage opened diagonally above her, and Wu Lingyu walked out. He immediately saw Yue in female clothes. His eyes flashed with amazement at first, then he frowned slightly and became a little unhappy. Have you settled the matter? Sima Yue looked at him and watched the change in expression on his face with satisfaction. Wu Lingyu walked over and held her hand, saying, There's still a little left, so I rushed back first. In front of so many people, she didn't ask what was going on and said, Since you're back, let's attend the banquet together. Feng hasn't come back yet? It should be soon. Even if he couldn't get Xiang Yi, he would come back himself. We already agreed on the time of the banquet. Sima Yue said. Let's go then. Wu Lingyu held her hand and walked over. Along the way, the eyes of those people were staring at their intertwined hands. Their hearts were filled with envy and jealousy. Bei Gong Tang and the others were behind. Looking at their backs, she said, The more I look at them, the more compatible they seem. What match? It's obviously an eyesore. Sima Yue glared hatefully at their hands, wishing he could go up and pry them apart. An eyesore, really an eyesore. She really is an eyesore. Sima Yue agreed. She's clearly our younger sister. How did she end up in his hands? This is intolerable. Sima Yuming said. We can't accept it. Sima Yuqi agreed. How can we let him cheat our sister away so easily? Yes, we have to think of something. I agree. When everyone heard what the four brothers said, they couldn't help but feel worried for Wu Lingyu. This guy was finished. If it was someone else who wanted to teach him a lesson, he would probably be killed in seconds. But they were Yue's brothers. No matter what they did, he had to endure it. He could not resist. Haha. Why did they feel so happy when they thought of this? I'm looking forward to it. When Sima Yue arrived in front of everyone, Ione was the first to approach her. Wow, boss, you're so beautiful. If I knew you were a girl, I would definitely have chased you. When he heard this, Wu Lingyu frowned and the other brothers held their foreheads. Oh no, this guy couldn't avoid a beating. Shurchen went up and pulled him back, saying, "It's no use even if you knew. It's better to come back and cool off." "Aya, I still want to talk to boss." Anayani cried out. "Boss you." Shurchen stretched out a hand and covered his mouth. "Good brother, I'm doing this for your own good. Didn't you see that the guy's face was so black?" Sima Yue looked at Shurchen's expression and couldn't help but laugh. With this laugh, the sky, earth, sun and moon lost their color. Everyone's eyes were only left with her smile. A portal in space suddenly opened, and the three of them walked out. Seeing the dazed people below, Kong Sengyi turned around and looked at Shimin Feng. "Are we sure we didn't go to the wrong place? Let's go down." Shimin Feng pulled her hand and flew to Sima Yue. "You guys are back? We were just waiting for you guys." Sima Yue smiled at the two of them. "Wow, Yue, you look so beautiful in female clothes. If I was a guy, I would definitely chase you." Kong Sengyi went up and pulled Sima Yue's hand, looking her up and down and said with a smile. Wu Lingyu really wanted to say that he wouldn't be calculative if she was a girl, but he was still unhappy in his heart. "Then do you want me to research on a sex change pill for you?" Sima Yue said with a smile. Seeing the old man behind, she asked, This is my master. He doesn't belong to the Kong Valley, and he won't tell anyone about us. Master is worried about me, so..." Kong Sengyi felt that he had let Sima Yue down. "This old man said that he won't tell anyone about you guys. Naturally, there will be rules of heaven and earth to restrict him," the old man said. "Rules of heaven and earth?" Sima Yue was slightly shocked. "Master swore," Kong Sengyi said. Sima Yue didn't expect the old man to be so decisive. She smiled and said, "Since he's your master, he's naturally our guest. Fengji, bring the guests to their seats." Fengji went up and waved at the old man, saying, "Elder Mu, please." He called out his name the moment he came up, which meant that Fengji knew him. 10 great evildoers. Elder Mu looked at Fengji and squinted his eyes. Fengji smiled and didn't deny it. He then made a gesture to invite him in. Elder Mu kept the shock in his heart and followed him to their seats. Shimin Feng brought Kong Sengyi in front of Shimin Li. Before he said anything, Shimin Li went up and grabbed Kong Sengyi and said, "Future sister-in-law, I thought you wouldn't be able to come today. You're so beautiful." Kong Sengyi's personality was more unrestrained. Now that he saw Shimin Li, he blushed when she called him future sister-in-law. "You must be Lear. I heard about it from your brother. Knowing that you're still alive, he's so happy. This is a gift for you. It was prepared in a hurry. I hope you don't mind." Kong Sengyi took out a box and passed it to Shimin Li. "Wow, I really have a gift for you." Shimin Li happily opened the box. There was a pair of emerald green bracelets lying inside. This bracelet has a defensive function. It can withstand 3 attacks from a monarch-ranked expert. Shimin Feng explained from the side. Shimin Li's strength was lower now. Giving her something like this was very practical for her. She kept the box and said happily, "Thank you, future sister-in-law." "Sect master, the banquet is about to start." Shimin Chi walked over and said, When is your friend coming?" "One is coming soon. I don't know if the other will come." Sima Yue said. "That person's whereabouts are uncertain. I don't know if I can contact him. We'll start when Qin Mo comes." "Yue, I'm not happy with what you said. You're establishing a sect. Of course I have to come." The space tunnel opened again. Qin Mo and Third Mo, who they had lost contact with for a long time, came out. After they came out, the space tunnel didn't close. This meant that there were still people coming out. Chapter 927. Is there anyone else coming? Sima Yue asked curiously. "Ha, of course there is." A burst of hearty laughter came from inside. Sima Yue's eyes lit up when she heard the voice. She shouted in surprise, "Godfather." "Ha, good, you still haven't forgotten your foster father." Wu Lamai's voice came from inside, followed by a group of people walking out. "Godfather, godmother, brother, Why are you here? Sima Yue flew towards them. Why didn't you inform us about such an important matter like establishing a sect? If Third Mo wasn't with us, we wouldn't even know about this. Wu La Air reproached. That's right, little sister. You're in the wrong, Wu Laxiu said. Yes, it's my fault for this matter. However, I didn't think it was anything important, so I didn't dare to trouble you to come all the way here. I was wrong. I'll let my brothers punish me later. How about that? Sima Yue held Shui Qingman's hand and said, Godmother, how have you been recently? You don't look too good. I'll take a look at you later. PFFF. Wu Laxiu and the others laughed and said, Mother isn't sick or injured. It's just that there's a baby in her stomach. Godmother is pregnant? Sima Yue looked at Shui Qingman in surprise. Shui Qingman nodded. Mother, since you're pregnant, you should be recuperating in the 9th Star Ocean. Why are you here? You're making your daughter feel guilty. Sima Yue quickly helped her to a seat below. They all wanted to come as soon as they received your message. You haven't come back to see us for a long time, so I missed you, Shui Qingman said. Moreover, I haven't seen how the people on the mainland look like, so I wanted to take a look. Let me check on you. Sima Yue took her hand, and was relieved after making sure that she was fine. I already said that I'm fine. I'm just a little tired. I'll be fine after some rest, Shui Qingman said gently. 10th sister, we know that you are establishing a sect today. We came in a hurry and did not prepare any congratulatory gifts. We could only bring you some things from the bottom of the sea, Wu Lalu said. The Prime Minister walked up and passed a few space containers to Sima Yue, saying, Congratulations to the 10th princess for establishing your sect. Thank you, Godfather, Godmother, and brothers. Thank you, Prime Minister. Sima Yue took it and scanned it with her spiritual awareness. When she saw what was inside, she couldn't help but ask, You didn't move all your treasuries here, did you? Of course not. We only moved 2 of the bigger ones, Wu Laxiu said. Only 2. Sima Yue's lips twitched. She knew about their treasure trove. Even the small one could be said to be as rich as a country. Now they even brought in 2 big ones. Anyway, those things are just sitting there. Your expenses for establishing a sect must be huge. Giving you more things is also a token of our sincerity. Don't worry about it. Wu Lalu said. That's right. You are our 10th princess. How can you be so shabby after establishing a sect? Wu Labo said. Then I'll have to thank Godfather, Godmother, and brothers, Sima Yue said with a smile. Shimanchi and the rest were shocked by this sudden scene. 10th princess? What 10th princess? This is the king and queen of the Violet Water Dragon clan of the 9th Star Ocean. There are also 9 princes. The Dragon King took in Yue as his goddaughter, so she is their 10th princess. Shiman Feng explained to everyone. Elder Mu was shocked. He knew about the 9th Star Ocean and the Violet Water Dragon clan. He didn't expect Yue to be the princess of the Violet Water Dragon clan. Aya, why are you giving gifts so quickly? Third Mo shouted. Your gifts are so big. How can I present my things? Alright, you should wait for me first. Otherwise, if you give it to me, I'll feel embarrassed, Chinemo said. No way. You have a rich family background. I don't want to be behind you, Third Mo said as he took out a box and passed it to Sima Yue. Here, this is for you. Congratulations on establishing the sect. It's a pity that I can't join. Otherwise, I'd want to be the vice sect leader. Sima Yue opened the box and saw that there was a small map inside. There was a red line on it. She took it out to take a look and was shocked. What is this? Wu Lali came over. He couldn't understand the map and asked. This is a mineral vein. Sima Yue said. You brat, you must be having a lot of fun finding mineral veins. You give out a mineral vein right away. SSSA mineral vein. Everyone was confused. What did a mineral vein mean? Yue only had 1 mineral vein when she established the sect. This brat gave her 1? Don't be so shocked. It's not like you can't tell that this mineral vein isn't very big. Third Mo said. I found this by chance in the past. It's already dispersed. You can go ahead and dig. Thanks. Sima Yue smiled as she kept the map. Teen Mo glared at Third Mo. I told you not to go first. You brat. Hee, even if you don't give anything, Yue won't say anything. Third Mo smiled as he sat at the side. Although it's a little embarrassing, since I've prepared it, it's a token of my appreciation. Teen Mo took out a box and gave it to her. Third Mo blinked. It was such a small box. What good stuff could he give? Did this brat copy him and give her a piece of paper? Sima Yue opened it. There was indeed paper inside. However, it wasn't a single piece of paper like Third Mo thought. It was a thick stack. Sima Yue took out the paper and looked at it. She looked at Teen Mo in shock. These are all my own forces. It has nothing to do with the clan. Teen Mo said. Third Mo came over and saw the paper. He said, Oh my good fellow. You gave the entire memory restaurant to Yue? There are even shops and shops below. Damn, they're all shops. Brat Chin, you have a few thousand shops. You gave them all away? Teen Mo took back the contract and put it in the box. He said, If you want to develop a force, you need all these. Thank you. Sima Yue said gratefully. The things they gave were very practical. It was also what she lacked the most besides manpower. If she did it herself, it wasn't that she couldn't do it. However, it would take a lot of money and energy. Moreover, this kind of spending would scare a group of people to death, who would give away a mine or a few thousand shops to someone else. Oh my, their little hearts were about to jump out. They felt more and more that Yu's friends were all here to scare people. Alright, let's begin. Sima Yue said. Since everyone is gathered here today, it can be considered that our sect is officially established. The sect leader is Feng. There are also a few halls below. We have alchemy, weapon refining, beast taming, and arrays. Later on, we'll see which one everyone knows. If you don't know any, then you'll be a disciple of our storm hall. There was a sudden movement in the air, interrupting Sima Yue's words. Chapter 928. Read 336. Sima Yue raised her head and looked over. There were movements in the space there. Someone else is coming? Third Mo asked. Sima Yue shook her head. I didn't inform anyone else. Then who is it? Could it be that someone just happened to pass by and bumped into them? What a coincidence. Shimin Feng glanced at Sima Yue. She was looking at the space. I think we should see an array formation next time. One that prevents those people from breaking through space. Otherwise, it will be too dangerous in the future. She pondered. Normal people wouldn't dare to casually come in. There is a layer of poisonous miasma outside. If they came in, they wouldn't be able to endure the poison. Shimanchi said. It's safer to have one, Sima Yue said. I'm really curious. Who is it this time? You'll know when you get here. They're out. Just as Sima Yue finished her sentence, an adult and a child came out from inside. Oh, there are quite a few people here. Her eyes narrowed when she saw the two of them. Why are you here? I heard that you're going to establish a sect, so I came to take a look. Did I catch up? Shiqiu Shuang asked. Just started, Sima Yue said. Here a present. Shi Qianji gave him a spatial ring. And the reward from last time. Sima Yue scanned the room and saw the generous rewards. She smiled and said, Since you're here, you're my guest. Please. Shiqiu Shuang saw them like this and knew that they had already started. She didn't say much and followed Feng Ji and the others to take up the position. 10th sister, who are they? Wu Laxiu didn't think it was rude to ask in front of everyone. They are a force from the inner regions, Sima Yue said. My friend, they are here to celebrate with us. This antidote was developed by that guy together with me. Inner circle. Feng Kai and the rest felt that their boss really had a wide range of friends. What they didn't know was that if news of Yue establishing a sect got out, the situation wouldn't be like this. And there's more? There was still movement in the space. Could it be that someone else was coming? This time, however, the space did not open. Instead, a woman appeared out of thin air. This is? None of the people present recognized this woman. How powerful was she to be able to appear here directly? Sima Yue did not know this person, but she recognized her attire. Mississippi. The lady came to Sima Yue and nodded slightly. Aunt, did something happen to Aunt Feng? Sima Yue asked worriedly. She quickly went through Feng Ruyan's condition in her mind. That shouldn't be the case. Feng Ruyan's condition was still too early to deteriorate. The woman saw the sincere concern in Sima Yue's eyes and said, Master is fine. She knows that you are establishing your sect today, which is a joyous occasion. She asked me to send you a gift. She took out a box and handed it to Sima Yue, saying, Master said not to open it before you reach the monarch rank. How did Aunt Feng know that there would be a joyous occasion today? Sima Yue placed the gift down and asked curiously, You have Master's soul imprint in your body. As long as Master wills it, she will know about your condition. The woman said, However, it will consume a lot of energy every time. This time it was a coincidence that she found out about your condition. She could still sense the soul imprint after it left her body? Sima Yue was shocked. A normal soul imprint would only be sensed after the soul imprint was consumed, or the host was lost. However, Feng Ruyan could sense it now. Master said to tell you not to think too much. She will not pay special attention to you, and will not interfere with your life. The woman said. I understand. Sima Yue nodded. Aunt, please help me pass a message to Aunt Feng to thank her for the gift. To Feng Ruyan, she was not worth her time. If she really wanted to spy on her, she did not have to tell her. Master said that if Miss wants to do anything, you can do it. Even if you want to poke a hole in the sky, the Feng people will be behind you. The aunt said with a smile. Feng Ruyan was talking about the time when she was surrounded. I understand. Sima Yue said. Aunt, sit down and eat some food. No, Master is waiting for me to report back. The aunt said. Then I will have to trouble Aunt to bring something back for Aunt Feng. Sima Yue took out a jade bottle. The things inside. 1 drop for a god ranked and 3 drops for a monarch ranked. I don't know what power Aunt Feng is from, but it should have some effect on her body. After the aunt took the item, she did not look at what it was. She nodded at Sima Yue and disappeared in front of everyone. Knowing that she had left, everyone regained their senses from the strong pressure. This person is so powerful. You see, sighed. The last time they were in the dark forest, they saw Feng Ruyan's soul imprint. At that time, Sima Yue called her Aunt Feng. The master that this person was talking about should be her. The people around that woman were so powerful. Shi Qiushuang and Shi Qianji looked at each other. This person who appeared. Does Senior know? He should be from those that we have heard of. So powerful. The power behind him is definitely not weak. At least he is much more powerful than us. Yes. It seems that this power will definitely develop in the future. Shi Qianji said faintly. Not to mention others, just the people who came to congratulate her, and the gifts they gave were not something that ordinary people could do. The development of one's strength sometimes depended on the support of one's connections. And she never lacked this. Sima Yue handed the box that Feng Ruyan gave to Little Spirit to keep. Then she turned around and said to everyone, Let's continue. Until the end of the banquet, everyone still had not recovered from the shock of today. Although there were not many people who came to witness, and although they did not have many members now, everyone believed that they would develop. The sect was officially established, and the celebration lasted until midnight. Everyone toasted each other, and in the end, those who were drunk directly fell to the ground and fell asleep. In the valley, there were many figures lying in a disorderly manner. Sima Yu and Wu Lingyu sat on the hillside, and looked at the many people who were drunk, but still continued to drink. A satisfied smile hung on the corner of their lips. The sect is finally established. Sima Yu sighed and sighed. What we need to do now is to recruit people and increase our strength. Speaking of which, senior brother, you are also a guest. Why didn't you give me a gift? She was very happy receiving gifts today, and only now did she remember that the people around her had not given her a gift. Wu Lingyu looked at her and winked at her, saying, How about giving me to you as a gift? Che, no sincerity. After Sima Yue finished speaking, her lips were immediately covered. I am serious. Chapter 929. By the time Wu Lingyu released her, her lips were already red and swollen from his kiss. This is not a gift. She glared at him unhappily. I told you, I'm giving myself to you. Wu Lingyu chuckled. Rejected. Sima Yue tilted her head and refused to look at him. All right, since you don't like this gift, let's change it to something tackier. Wu Lingyu took out a box and opened it. Inside was an exquisite ring with a fiery red gem embedded in it. Sima Yue was stunned. Why did this guy take this out? Wu Lingyu took out the ring, pulled up her left hand, and put it on her middle finger. The ring was a little big, and when it was put on her finger, it automatically shrank. Are you proposing to me? Sima Yue did not evade. Aren't you going to ask if I'm willing? You're someone who won't change your mind once you've made up your mind. I'm already yours, Wu Lingyu said ambiguously. Come on, don't say that. Sima Yue said. You make it sound like I did something to you. Isn't that so? Wu Lingyu looked at her innocently. We agreed before that I would be your man. You agreed, you can't go back on your word. Besides, what did you do to me? When did I do anything to you? Sima Yue glared at her. This guy was spouting nonsense. You stripped me naked back then. Wu Lingyu said. Tell me, how many times have you stripped me naked? I was unconscious at that time. How would I know if you did anything to me? Even if you did something to me, I wouldn't know. Wu Lingyu said. Don't tell me you want to deny it just because my divine sense isn't clear? Sima Yue looked at his seductive and innocent eyes and felt that she could not explain herself to him. Since he couldn't explain himself, he might as well not say anything at all. Instead, he sent a slap over. Pa! Sima Yue was stunned and stared at him. Why didn't you dodge? If I dodge, you won't be able to hit me, right? Wu Lingyu replied. Sima Yue looked at him. He really lost to him. All right. Wu Lingyu held her hand and said, Take a good look at this ring. Sima Yue was puzzled. She looked at the ring again, but did not find any mechanism. Fantasy ring? That's not it either. She looked at it and didn't find anything different. Look at that gem, Wu Lingyu said. Sima Yue looked at it for a while and still could not see anything. Hence, she used her divine sense to explore it. There was a blood-red seed inside the ruby. What is this? Sima Yue exited and asked in surprise. From the outside, it was impossible to discover this seed. This gem almost completely covered its aura. Plus, it was the same red color. Hence, if Wu Lingyu didn't let her look, she wouldn't have discovered it. Wu Lingyu casually set up a small enchantment and enveloped the two of them. Then he said, Do you still remember the auction in Feng City? Feng City auction? Sima Yue was stunned. Then she nodded and said, I remember. It was at that time that she wanted to find the divine sand. In the end, she didn't manage to find it. Hence she met Feng Ruyan. At that time, what did the other party want in exchange for the divine sand? Wu Lingyu asked. The divine scar, Sima Yue said. Suddenly, the pain intensified. She looked at Wu Lingyu in disbelief and exclaimed, You're saying that the seed inside is the divine scar? Wu Lingyu looked at her shocked expression and nodded. Oh my God! Sima Yue finally understood why he set up the enchantment. Isn't this a legendary item? How did you get it? She simply couldn't believe that this item actually existed. Now it was in her hands. I got it in the past. After I fused with it, I took it back. Wu Lingyu said. He had a place where he kept his treasures. However, only his soul couldn't open it. Wu Lingyu didn't have his memories. Naturally, he didn't know about this item. Sima Yue looked at the ring on her hand. She felt as if she was about to forget to breathe. Her heart was tightly clenched by this little thing. Don't be so nervous. Wu Lingyu said. This thing is with you. No one will know. Also, it's not some divine medicine now. It's just a seed. Is this seed still alive? Sima Yue raised her head and asked. It should be. If you sense it carefully, you can still feel a trace of life inside. Wu Lingyu said. I think it's because of the gemstone outside that it can be passed down until now. Sima Yue thought so too. I'll let little spirit try it later. Let's see if he can cultivate it. I'm sure little spirit will be very interested. I heard that this seed is rather evil. It needs to be soaked in blood, and then planted in the ground. It also needs to be irrigated with blood every day. Wu Lingyu said, this is the only way it won't fly away when it matures. Fly away? Sima Yue was confused. This thing could fly away? God's scar is a divine medicine. Since it's a divine medicine, it has spirituality. It knows that humans will use it to make medicine. When it matures, it will leave the branch and fly away. Wu Lingyu explained. Only when it's irrigated with blood from the beginning can it have some connection with it. It won't reject it so much. I see. Sima Yue looked at the ruby. Divine medicine, hee. Wu Lingyu knocked her head and said, don't laugh so vulgarly. How am I vulgarly? Sima Yue covered her head. I'm just happy. This is a divine medicine. It said that one divine medicine is worth one life. If it can bear 2 fruits, then it's 2 lives. Speaking of which, how many fruits can it bear? Divine medicine usually bears 1 fruit. There's no divine medicine in the world that can bear 2 fruits. Wu Lingyu said. Are there many divine medicines? Not many. Wu Lingyu said. There are a few in total, and they are all in the hands of the superpowers. But those lost and hidden clans are not very clear. Does the Sage Pavilion have any? Yes. It's in the main pavilion. Wu Lingyu said. Where is the main pavilion? Is it where the old guy who covets your body is? Nope. That's the main pavilion that governs the central and outer regions. The real main pavilion is in the inner regions. It's their orders that caused you to only be able to wear female clothes. Wu Lingyu said. However, with your current strength, you don't have to care about this. You're saying that I can change back to female clothes? Sima Yue's eyes lit up. Wu Lingyu thought about the way those people looked at her, and subconsciously wanted to deny it. But seeing her eyes, he nodded and said, as long as you're willing, I can settle anything for you. You can do it? Sima Yue did not believe him. Don't forget, I used to be the Devil King. My woman. What do I need to care about? Wu Lingyu rubbed her head and said dotingly. Chapter 930. Sima Yue was satisfied with his answer, but she did not intend to reveal her identity as a woman so soon. As a man, it would be much more convenient for her later actions. This matter will depend on my mood in the future. She said, what kind of divine medicine is that? Speaking of which, it has something to do with you. Wu Lingyu said, the General Pavilion's divine medicine is Phoenix Nirvana. Phoenix Nirvana? Shouldn't such a divine medicine belong to the Phoenix clan? Sima Yue was curious. How did it become the Sage Pavilion's divine medicine? Who said that the Phoenix's Nirvana belongs to the Phoenix clan? Wu Lingyu glanced at her. This divine medicine was left behind by a monarch. However, that monarch had once made a contract with a phoenix. When he was cultivating this divine medicine, he injected the last of his phoenix power into it. That's why it's called Phoenix Nirvana. Isn't that related to the phoenix? Sima Yue rolled her eyes. Is the phoenix's Nirvana also watered with blood? No. Wu Lingyu shook his head. Different divine herbs require different conditions to grow. I've only seen Phoenix Nirvana once, so I don't know who's in charge of it. If you've only seen it once, it's going to be hard to get it, Sima Yue said disappointedly. Wu Lingyu knocked on her head and said, the Sage Pavilion still has some powerful people in the Sage Pavilion. If they went now, not only would they not be able to snatch the item, but they would also be wiped out. Let's talk about it after I recover my strength. I'm just saying, Sima Yue said. She didn't expect him to send the whole world to her. He had his strength, but most of the time, she wanted to rely on her own strength to obtain things. Wu Lingyu looked at her and smiled without saying anything. By the way, with this, I can completely cure Aunt Feng's injury, Sima Yue said, but I don't think this seed is enough. It has to be grown. I've given it to you. You can do whatever you want with it. Wu Lingyu took out a tattered book and said, this is for you too. What's this? Sima Yue took it over. The paper was so fragile that she was afraid that it would break if she touched it. There's information about divine scar inside. You might be able to use it. Wu Lingyu said. Such ancient data, how did you get it? Sima Yu carefully held the book, her joy overflowing from her words. Compared to the gold, silver, jewels, spirit stones and crystal stones, the things that Wu Lingyu had given her were much more tempting. It's all in the past. Because they were in the devil realm, they didn't have much use. They were all used as trump cards. I went to look through it before I came back, Wu Lingyu said. Alright, even if it was a trump card, it was still very precious. She didn't want to argue with him about this. Yue, what are you doing up there? Come down and drink. Third Mo waved at Sima Yue. Today is your big day. I've made an exception to drink with Qin Mo. But you, the main character, aren't here. What are you? Come down. Wu Lingyu removed the barrier. Sima Yue got up and flew down, saying, Since you've broken your rules for me, we must drink until we're drunk today. 10th sister, what kind of wine is this? Why is it better than the wine from other places? Wu Laxiu staggered over and put his head on Sima Yue's shoulder. When he was 2 centimeters away from her shoulder, Sima Yue was pulled away. Wu Laxiu almost fell to the ground. Luckily Wu Lingyu caught him. 9th brother, you're already drunk. Sima Yue said. Should I get someone to send you to rest? I'm not drunk, I'm just a little dizzy. Wu Laxiu said. 9th brother, if Godfather sees you like this he'll be angry. Sima Yue said. Father is accompanying mother to rest. He won't see. Wu Laxiu was not afraid. Hee, do you want to drink? Bring me along? Since you want to drink, how can you leave us out? Shi Qianji also came over. Sima Yue looked around. Shi Qiushuang was sitting quietly on the seat. She did not drink much. Shi Qianji also looked back saying, She listened to you. She didn't drink a single drop of wine tonight. She's been drinking the fruit juice you made. Her body is still too weak. She can't drink. Sima Yue said. That's why she's a little unhappy. Shi Qianji said. Oh right, your senior brother gave you a gift. He took out a black metal box and stuffed it into her hands. Sima Yue was stunned. She immediately accepted the gift saying, he knew. Shi Qianji saw that she was only shocked for a moment before accepting the gift saying, I thought you wouldn't accept it. Before Master chased him out of the sect, he's still my eldest senior brother. Since that's the case, I'll naturally accept his gift. If he hears your words, he'll probably be very happy. Shi Qianji was happy for Jiang Junxian. Sima Yue raised her wine cup and clinked it with his, saying, Cheers. She did not want to respond to Shi Qianji's words because she did not know how to say it. Jiang Junxian knew Little Seven's identity, but did not kidnap her. He even poisoned them in Little Black Lotus realm, so that they would not fight. This showed that he valued their friendship. When she thought of this, she was still a bit moved. But when she thought of how he insisted on bringing the Sky Splitter Devil Sword back, she still felt a bit uncomfortable. Shi Qianji smiled and drank the wine in his hand. Come, let's drink. I remember that you used to have a very good alcohol tolerance. I wonder how it is now. Third Mo pulled Sima Yue over and had her sit at the side. He raised his wine cup and drank with her. My alcohol tolerance is not bad now. I can't compare to you, but I can still compare to Big Brother Qin. Come drink. That night, Sima Yue and the rest drank until the sky turned bright. Because Xue Qingman was not feeling well, she went to rest early last night. As a good husband, Wu Lamai naturally accompanied her at all times. When they woke up the next morning, they saw that the entire valley was filled with people hugging wine jars and sleeping on the ground. Foster father, foster mother. Sima Yue was letting people feed everyone pills to sober up. When she saw them coming out, she walked over and greeted them. Why don't I see your senior brother? Xue Qingman asked when she saw her. Senior brother still had things to settle, so he left in the latter half of last night. Foster mother, are you looking for him for something? Sima Yue asked. It's nothing much. Didn't I find out about you and him last night? So I wanted to find him to check on you. Xue Qingman said. I didn't expect him to leave so early. Was this the rhythm of checking on her as a member of her family? Sima Yue could not help but think to herself. Foster mother, you saw him last night. Let's leave the scolding for another time, she said with a smile. When I took your pulse yesterday, I found that your body was a bit weak. I'm afraid that pregnancy will be more difficult. Let me take a good look at you today, all right? Chapter 931. Yue, what happened to your adoptive mother? Quick, take a look at her. Wu Lamai panicked when he heard Yue say that Shui Qingman's body wasn't well. Godfather, there's no need to panic. Godmother is fine for now. I'll have to do a thorough check to know the details. Sima Yue said. Then quickly give her a checkup. Wu Lamai said. These days, your foster mother feels that being pregnant is different from being pregnant with your 9 brothers. You don't have to be so alarmed. Shui Qingman looked at Wu Lamai's nervous expression and said. Godmother, let's go into the house. I'll help you hold on for a while. Sima Yue said. All right. Not far away, Wu La Li and the others heard the commotion and followed in with the drunk Wu La Xiao. 10th sister, what happened to Imperial Mother? I haven't checked yet. Why are all of you here? Sima Yue glanced at them. Don't make a sound. The brothers stopped talking and waited for her results. Seeing her face getting darker and darker, and her eyebrows getting tighter and tighter, everyone's heart sank. When she was done, no one dared to speak when they saw her expression. The atmosphere in the room was a little heavy for a moment. It was Wu Lamai who broke the silence and asked, Yue, how is your adoptive mother? Sima Yue sighed and said, Foster mother's injury was delayed for a long time. Although her body has recovered, it's still too early for a female. Pregnancy requires the mother's energy, but the body can't support it, so now the body is a little empty, and the energy can't keep up. Is this serious? Wu Lalu asked. This situation isn't that serious, but we can't underestimate it either. Fortunately, it was discovered early, so it didn't endanger the health of foster mother and the fetus, Sima Yue said. It's just that the treatment is more troublesome and will take some time. How do we treat it? Ural asked. Every day, I will use spiritual energy to recuperate Imperial Mother's body. Then I will use medicinal cuisine and pills to recuperate, Sima Yue said. Imperial Mother's body is already a little weak, so she can't be nourished directly. She needs to take it slowly. Therefore, foster mother, don't return to the 9th Star Ocean for the time being. How long will it take? Wu Lali asked. At least half a year, Sima Yue said. It's best if you can raise her until she gives birth. Then Imperial Mother can stay here with 10th sister. Wu Lali said. Let's not go back this time. Let's recover first. This time we'll stay behind. I'll leave the matters of the clan to you and your brothers. Wu Lamai directly decided on what to do next. Shui Qingman wanted to say something, but she chose to remain silent. She didn't want to joke about herself and the child in her belly, but if she didn't go back, it was impossible for Wu Lamai to go back. The extent to which this guy stuck to her was indescribable. In any case, when Imperial Mother was unconscious in the past, second brother was the one handling the clan's affairs. Wu Labo said, Imperial Father, Imperial Mother, don't worry. There won't be any trouble. Well, since that's the case, you should go back early. If there was anything, he should discuss it with the Prime Minister. If you really can't solve it, contact me, Wu Lamai said. Yes, Father. Then you can go back today. Imperial Father, do you have to chase them away so quickly? Let's wait for Imperial Mother's condition to get better before going back. Wu Lali was more daring and dared to raise an objection. Unfortunately, it wasn't accepted. There's no use for you to stay here. The 9th Star Ocean isn't peaceful yet. You should hurry back. If those guys attack again, just fight back. There's no need to be merciful. Wu Lamai said. But Imperial Mother's condition. You don't have to worry about adoptive mother's condition. I'll help her recuperate. Sima Yue said. Then we'll have to trouble 10th sister. She saved Shui Qingman the last time and refined so many pills for them. She was a godly doctor in their hearts. When she said that there would be no problem, they were all reassured. Brothers, don't worry. Sima Yue said. Have you been fighting all this while? Are there enough pills? If there's not enough, I'll refine some more for you to bring back. There's still a lot left. Wu Lalu said. We took so many back the last time. We didn't fight much after that, so we didn't consume much. When there's no more, we'll ask you for more. That's good too. You have to tell us in advance. Don't wait until there's no more. Sima Yue said. If you want to refine more, it'll take some time. Okay. All right. Hurry back. Wu Lamai said. Don't delay Yue from helping Qing Man recuperate. Although they were unwilling, there was indeed something going on in the clan. They couldn't leave no one to oversee things. Hence they could only return. Hence, the drunk Wu Laxiu and the Prime Minister were dragged away by them. When they left, they were still shouting that they wanted to drink more. Adoptive mother, I'll help you with the acupuncture first. Sima Yue said. What about your guests? Do you want to go and greet them? Shui Qing Man asked. No need. They drank too much last night. They're still sobering up. Even if they're sober, Feng and the rest will take care of them. Sima Yue said. Adoptive mother, come. Shui Qing Man nodded and chased Wu Lamai out. It wasn't the first time Sima Yue did acupuncture for her. But in the past, she was unconscious. Now that she was pregnant, she was a little nervous. Adoptive mother, you don't have to think too much. Just relax. You'll be fine very soon. Sima Yue comforted. Okay. Sima Yue didn't spend too much time this time. It was done in about half an hour. She helped Shui Qing Man put on her clothes and said, I'll refine some pills for you later. Just take the pills and you'll be fine. Will that do? Shui Qing Man asked. That won't do. Sima Yue said. The fetus in your womb is a little weak because of the lack of nutrition. I'll use my spiritual energy to nourish it for a period of time every day. So we have to do 3 things every day. That's acupuncture, taking pills and nourishing with spiritual energy. After half a month, we'll see how it goes. If it's fine, we won't have to do acupuncture anymore. Thank you, child. Shui Qing Man said gently. Sima Yue smiled and said, You're the adoptive mother. This child is also my younger brother and sister. You don't have to be so courteous with me. Oh right, pregnancy is the best time to nourish the fetus. If you nourish it well, your younger brother and sister's talents will be very good in the future. Just like my younger sister. Her too. I nourished them when my mother was pregnant. That's why Li was born with a God-ranked body. Her body is also stronger. Sima Yue said. She just didn't know when the little doe would be able to transform and end the days of absorbing spiritual energy. Chapter 932. Shui Qing Man touched her stomach, her face slowly filled with love. His brothers and sisters are already very powerful. I don't expect anything from him in the future. It's fine as long as he's safe. As long as Godmother takes good care of him, he will definitely be fine. Sima Yue said. But what? Wu Lamai came in and asked. I have something to do in the next 2 months, so I can't stay here all the time. Sima Yue said. So I'll have to trouble you to stay with me. Alright, I also want to take a look around the continent. Shui Qing Man said. It's not impossible, Sima Yue said. But foster mother needs to rest most of the time, so she can't move around too much. Also, we can't use the teleportation array. The compression of space will hurt the child. Does that mean I can't go with you? Shui Qing Man was a little disappointed. For the sake of you and the child, just bear with it. When the child comes out, I'll walk around with you. How about that? Wu Lamai couldn't bear to see her expression and comforted her. I have to give you acupuncture treatment every day. Of course, I have to be with Godmother. Sima Yue said. I have an idea. What is it? Sima Yue took out a small door and brought the 2 people to Little Black Lotus Realm. This is my little realm. I've already developed a portion of it. Sima Yue said. If foster mother stays here, as long as I have this door, foster mother will be able to go anywhere. It's just that there's no one here, so I'll have to trouble foster mother. Wow, you actually have a little realm like this? Not bad. There's nothing wrong with staying here. Shui Qingman smiled as she looked at Sima Yue with a loving gaze. Normally, this kind of small realm would not tell outsiders, but she did not hesitate to tell them. This kind of heart made her very happy. I will create a water body here, so that you can live in the water too, Sima Yue said. You can do that? Wu Lamai said in surprise. Yes, this is my little realm. It can be done in places that are developed. Those gray areas are the ones that I can't enter yet, Sima Yue said. Then let's see how you do it. Shui Qingman looked at her curiously. Sima Yue smiled. Using her mind, she dug a 10-kilometer-long puddle on the ground. Is this length okay? It's done, Shui Qingman said. Normally, they wouldn't need such a wide range. What about the water? Go outside and get it. I remember there was a small body of water nearby. Sima Yue smiled and went out. After a while, Shui Qingman and the rest saw water falling from the sky into the puddle. Following them were some aquatic creatures. Before those aquatic creatures could figure out what was going on, this place had already changed. Sima Yue appeared with a smile and said, Mother, how was it? Not bad. Shui Qingman looked at the puddle with satisfaction. Although it can't be compared to the Ninth Star Ocean, it's quieter here. It's also more convenient for my treatment. Sima Yue said, Mother, I'll have to trouble you to stay here. It's already not bad. Shui Qingman held her hand. You've already put in a lot of effort. It's easier for me to operate here. I won't be disturbed. Sima Yue touched Shui Qingman's stomach. It's very weak now. It can't be stimulated. If it's interrupted during the treatment, it will be harmful to it. It will definitely know that it has such a good sister like you. I'll have a good younger brother and sister too. Sima Yue said, Mother, if you have nothing to do outside, you can stay here. All right. King, do you have anything else? Wu Lamai shook his head. His job was to accompany her. Other things didn't matter. Then you can stay here. I'll replenish the baby's spiritual energy for today. Then, I'll go and develop the pill. All right. Sima Yue let Shui Qingman go into the water and transform into her original form. Then she went to her stomach and found the position of the baby. She covered it with her hand and transferred her spiritual energy into her body. She found the little life and wrapped it up. After the little life came into contact with her spiritual power, it moved comfortably. After a while, Sima Yue retracted her hand and said, I left a part of my spiritual energy to wrap it up. I'll continue it tomorrow. Wu Lamai saw that she looked a little tired. Thinking that she still had things to settle, he suggested, Why don't you let me do the daily transfer of spiritual energy? Sima Yue shook her head and said, Father's spiritual energy is different from mine. My spiritual energy has a healing effect. Father's spiritual energy is more domineering. So it's not suitable for Father to transfer spiritual energy to the baby. But Father can transfer some to Mother. Every day, he can help Mother move around her body and give her some strength. They were like this. The older one was protecting the older one, and the younger one was protecting the younger one. That's fine too, Wu Lamai said. Don't be too tired, Shui Qingman said with heartache. Mother, don't worry. I won't mess around. After all, this is a long-term thing. If I'm too tired today, how can I continue tomorrow? Sima Yue smiled. Mother, you need to rest now. That way, the baby will be more comfortable. I'll go and create some pills for you. There's someone outside looking for me. I'll go out for a while. Okay, go ahead, Shui Qingman said. Okay. Sima Yue went out and saw Shimanli calling her. Li, big sister. Li saw Sima Yue come out and knew that she must have gone to the little realm or spirit pagoda. She wasn't surprised. What's the matter? Sima Yue asked. It's Shi Qianji and his junior sister. They said that they have something to do and have to go back. They want to say goodbye to you, Shimanli said. They're leaving? Where? They're outside. Sima Yue went out and saw Shi Qiushuang and Shi Qianji talking in the valley below. They felt that she came out of the courtyard and looked over. You're leaving? Sima Yue walked over and asked. Yeah. We came here behind Master, and the rest's back. Something will happen if we're out for too long. Shi Qianji said. The last time you killed our poison master, it caused our sect to be in chaos for a period of time. You can't blame me for that. Sima Yue touched her nose. Who asked that guy to have bad intentions? He. Shi Qiushuang and the rest laughed. That's right. He deserved to die. Your body still needs to be nourished. You definitely don't lack pills. You just have to be careful. Sima Yue reminded. Okay. I know. Shi Qiushuang nodded. I think I won't be able to come back for a while. Go to the inner region early. I'll wait for you there. Okay. Shi Qianji opened the space tunnel. The two of them waved at her and turned to go in. Sima Yue turned around and saw Third Mo looking at her from the mountain. Chapter 933. Sima Yue raised her head and looked at him as he walked over slowly. Needless to say, she knew what he was thinking from the look in his eyes. You're leaving too? Yes. Third Mo nodded. I haven't found the thing I'm looking for, so I have to continue. In the Ninth Star Ocean. I used to think that it was, but later on I realized that it wasn't. Third Mo said. What are you looking for? Tell me and I might be able to help you. Sima Yue said. Third Mo shook his head. You're already very busy. Let me handle my own matters. If there's anything you need me to do, just tell me. Sima Yue looked at him. Since he didn't want to say anything, she didn't ask. Amen. I'll definitely tell you if I need anything. Third Mo said. You should practice your pill refining skills more. Who knows, I might ask you to refine pills in the future. Alright. I didn't expect that guy to lure you away so easily. Although I don't like him very much. You can ask him to do more for you if you need anything. Don't think that you're so easy to get. Do you understand? Alright. If you two get married in the future, I want to attend as part of your family. Alright. Third Mo saw that she only smiled and agreed. He reached out and patted her head saying, I'm leaving. Contact me if you need anything. Take care. Sima Yue felt a little sad as she watched him open the spatial tunnel and walk in. Yue. Qin Mo brought his men over. When Sima Yue saw that everyone was here, she said, Big brother Qin, are you leaving too? Yes, I'm sorry. I wanted to accompany you for a few more days. I know you're busy, it's okay. Sima Yue said. When you're done with your work, we'll meet again. Yes. I'll take my leave then. The old man beside Qin Mo opened a spatial tunnel. Just as Qin Mo was about to enter, he thought of something. He turned around and said, If he bullies you, tell me. I will help you beat him up. Okay. Sima Yue smiled and nodded. Seeing her nod, he then left with his men. Has everyone left? Shimin Li saw that Sima Yue had returned after a month and asked. Yes, they've all left. Sima Yue said. Where's Elder Mu? Second brother and future sister-in-law sent him away early in the morning. Shimin Li said. So most of the guests have left. What should we do next? In a sect, there were always some things that needed to be done, but no one had told her about them. Your task now is to absorb as much as you can and let your dough take shape as soon as possible. Sima Yue said. We'll take care of the rest. But you'll be very busy. Didn't we talk about it last night? Fenger, Uncle Chi, Auntie and third mother, everyone will deal with different things. Just focus on your cultivation. We will only be able to explore the higher realms when we are strong enough. Sima Yue said. Yes. I will do my best. I'm going into seclusion to refine pills today. Tell them not to disturb me. Sima Yue said. All right. I'll go tell everyone. After Shimin Li left, Sima Yue set up a barrier in the house before entering the spirit pagoda. She refined all the pills that Shui Qingman needed during this period of time before going out. She went to Little Black Lotus Realm and passed the pills to them. When she came out, she was finally done with today's matters and the sky was already dark. She cracked her neck and removed the barrier to go out and look for everyone. Fatty Chu and the rest were gathered together to eat. After a day of rest, the hangover from last night had already disappeared, and they were all very energetic. Yue, come quickly. We're just about to start eating. Fatty Chu waved at her. Sima Yue walked over and sat beside Bei Gong Tang, saying, "Luckily I made it in time. Otherwise, this delicacy would have passed me by." Bei Gong Tang gave her a skewer of barbecued meat, saying, "The food you make is the best. How can you miss it? You guys make different ones." Sima Yue took a bite, and it tasted delicious. "Yue, we were too busy yesterday and there's something we didn't tell you," Wei Ziqi said. "What's the matter?" Sima Yue asked when she saw their serious expressions. "The sect said that a little realm will be opened soon. Those in the top 500 of the billboard can enter." Sima Yue said, "We plan to go in." "All right." Sima Yue didn't think much of it. The little realm is rich in spirit energy and there are many opportunities. It'll be good for you guys to go in and cultivate. Of course we have to go. But, what are the requirements of the little realm? Only those below the divine saint rank can enter. Wei Ziqi said. So you can't go. You all want to go? Sima Yue glanced at everyone. Then I'll wait here for you guys to come out. You don't have to care about the sex matters now. It's more important to work hard to raise your own strength. And to develop the sect. It's not something that can be done in a day. Although we've been officially established, we still need some time to develop. Right, how long will you guys be gone? It's said that the little realm can be opened for 10 years. 10 years, that's okay. It'll be over quickly if you cultivate. Sima Yue said. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys come out in 10 years. We're looking forward to it too. When are you leaving? The sect said that we'll leave in 10 days. You guys still have to go back to the sect to prepare. Excluding the time spent on the road, it's best that you guys leave tomorrow. Sima Yue said. We're planning to go back tomorrow. Alright, then I wish all of you good luck in obtaining great opportunities. You'll all break through to the divine saint rank when you come out. Cheers. Cheers. Wu Lingyu didn't come back, so when they left on the second day, they used a teleportation array. Mao Sanquan knew that they were coming to the central regions, and gave them a temporary teleportation array to return to the sect directly. It's only been 2 days and these guys are going back. Little Seven said. It's weird not seeing them for so long. Can't bear to see them leave? Sima Yue hugged her shoulder. 10 years will pass quickly, they'll be back after a few closed-door cultivation. We don't have time to go into closed-door cultivation. Little Seven said. We're going to recruit people. You only have a little more than 2 months left. It's easy to recruit people. Sima Yue said. Once we've settled everything here, we'll go recruit people. Is there anything else? Little Seven asked. Yes, we'll go and choose a place to release the Orvane. Let's go, we'll choose a place. Alright, are we going to recruit people after releasing the Orvane? Where are we going to recruit people? Are we going to use force to conquer them? You don't worry, I'll beat them up until they're kneeling on the ground and singing conquer. Ha! Little Seven, girls should be virtuous. Chapter 934. Read 336. Many days later, Sima Yue held Little Seven's hand, followed by Feng Kai and Shichen. They appeared in front of a city gate. The guards of the Feng clan came out before she left, saying that they must follow her wherever she went and protect her safety. Sima Yue could not win against them, and could only keep them in her little realm. This time, all of them were kept in her little realm. Feng 1, Feng 2 and the rest did not have to fight over who would stay by her side. Boss, this is Blood Fiend City. Shichen said. As long as we enter the city gates, we have to follow the rules here. This is the rule of the Blood Fiend City's city lord? Sima Yue asked. No, this is a rule that everyone agrees to. If anyone dares to not abide by the rules, the entire city will not tolerate him. Shichen said. Blood Fiend City's name is Bloody, but no one is allowed to kill inside. This rule is weird. Little Seven said. This Blood Fiend City stands outside of all the powerhouses, and is not restricted by any powerhouses. Those who are being chased will also be protected here. As long as they don't leave this city, they won't be chased by their enemies. Feng Ji said. So the people here are basically all enemies. Why didn't those enemies chase after him when they came here? Little Seven didn't understand. If it was me, even if he escaped inside, I would kill him. The city lord of Bloodfiend City had always been very mysterious and not many people had seen them before. However, they were very strong. There was once someone who wanted to kill his own enemy and didn't care about the rules here, and insisted that Bloodfiend City hand over the person. He even gathered a lot of forces and wanted to forcefully attack the city, but in the end, he left with his tail between his legs. Feng Kai said. So powerful? That was 1,000 years ago, but since then, no one has dared to come here and cause trouble. When those fugitives enter this place, it's like entering a sturdy cage. Shurchen said. A sturdy cage? Sima Yue looked at him. Why didn't you come here back then? We've been here before. We've lived here for a while. After that he left again. Shurchen said. Why did you leave? There's no freedom here. Shurchen said. People are trapped here for their whole lives. That kind of feeling is very uncomfortable. Furthermore, and what? I can't increase my strength here. Unable to increase his strength? That's right. No matter how you cultivate, your strength won't increase. How strong were you when you entered this place 100 years ago? 100 years later, you are still the same. You won't grow. There's such a strange thing? Why? I don't know. Perhaps, being unable to improve their strength for the rest of their lives is the price of these people's survival. Feng Kai said. A deal. Sima Yue smiled with interest. Let's go, let us take a look at the Bloodfiend City. The four of them arrived at the city gate. There were no soldiers guarding it, but the city gate was tightly shut. Shurchen took out 10 high-grade crystal stones and placed them in a secret groove on the city wall. After the secret groove was absorbed, the city gate slowly opened. So magical. Little Seven looked up at the door and widened her eyes in shock. There has always been no one managing this place. If you want to go in, you just need to put a high-grade crystal stone here. Shurchen explained. So powerful. Little Seven went to touch the door, but she didn't find anything different. Let's go in. Feng Kai said to Sima Yue, who was in a daze. Sima Yue retracted her gaze from the city gate and nodded to Feng Kai. All right. They entered the city and the city gates immediately slammed shut. Hearing the dull sound, Sima Yue subconsciously furrowed her eyebrows. Brother Feng Kai, are we going to recruit people now? Little Seven asked. It's morning now and no one is out yet. We need to find an inn to rest. Feng Kai said. Then we'll come out at night? How are we going to recruit people? Directly? You'll know at night. Feng Kai smiled and said, we can't discuss this matter here. We'll be beaten up. Someone wants to beat me? All right, let him come. Feng Kai's face was filled with black lines, as he had a feeling that he couldn't communicate with her. Sima Yue shook her head and held Little Seven's hand, saying, Let's go, we'll find an inn to stay in. We had a friend when we were living here in the past, who happened to own an inn. Let's go there. Feng Kai said. Okay. They walked in the city for 2 hours before arriving at the inn. Here many people live here, so there are very few inns. The inn we're going to is a little old, but it's the closest one to here. Feng Kai explained. Although the owner of the inn looks a little scary and his temper isn't very good, once he has set his mind on someone, he will treat them with all his heart. We're here. Sima Yue raised her head and looked at the so-called inn. It was a wooden house that had been weathered. Only half of the inn's signboard was left, and it was still hanging crookedly on the door. There was a hole in one of the old wooden doors, while the other one was blown by the wind and fell to the ground, breaking into pieces. This was really a little old. A man in hemp clothes with the left side of his face completely burnt came out and threw the few pieces of wood to one side, saying, Really, what kind of evil wind is blowing so early in the morning? I told you to change the door earlier, but you were lazy. Now the wind helped you change it. Feng Kai crossed his arms and looked at the man as he said. That man saw Feng Kai and the rest and raised his eyebrows in surprise, saying, I was wondering why the door would fall, so it was you guys who did it. After leaving for so many years, why did you come back? We came back for some matters, Shurchen said. Old Bai, do you still have a room here? Bai Sheng glanced at Sima Yue and the rest, saying, Since when did I not have a room here? Come in. Sima Yue and Little Seven went in, thinking that they would see a very sloppy inn, but they didn't expect that although the things here were old, they were very clean. Why is it just the two of you? Where are your brothers? Bai Sheng went behind the counter and took out an old book, asking without raising his head. Outside, Shurchen said. Bai Sheng looked at his book and raised his head to ask, How many of you are staying here? There are 4 of us, 2 rooms will do, Feng Kai said. 4 of us, how is 2 rooms enough? The rooms here are so expensive, if there are 2 more rooms, wouldn't it give you more chances to suck our blood? Feng Kai raised his eyebrows. Unless you give it to us for free. Then you better have 2 rooms. Bai Sheng said, The 2 rooms at the end of the 2nd floor, go there yourself. Sima Yue saw that he closed the book and was preparing to lie down on the chaise lounge at the back. She looked at Feng Kai suspiciously. Did the shopkeeper miss out on something? Chapter 935. Read 336. She didn't say anything, but Bai Sheng seemed to know what she was thinking and said, There's no key to this room, just look after your things. No key? Your inn is really strange. Little Seven said. In Bloodfiend City, is the key useful? Bai Sheng asked back. It seems like it's useless. Little Seven said, but it's still a formality. That sort of thing is so troublesome. You all know my rules, so I won't say much. Bai Sheng laid down after he finished speaking, not caring if they went upstairs or not. Sima Yue pursed her lips. This person was really casual. He's a bit lazy. Boss, don't mind him, Shurchen said. The word boss made Bai Sheng, who had his eyes closed, awake. Boss, you guys went out and acknowledged her as your boss? He glanced at Sima Yue. Why is she a little girl? Don't tell me you 10 brothers are regressing as you live. So what if I'm a little doll? Even a little doll can beat you up. Little Seven waved her fist and said unhappily. Not human. Bai Sheng looked at Little Seven, then remembered something was wrong. Shurchen, you've recovered from your illness? Don't tell me you want this person to treat you. And then you will recognize her as your boss? More or less. Shurchen did not deny it. Bai Sheng was interested in Sima Yue and said, Why did you guys come back this time? Did you follow her here, or did she follow you here? Is there a difference? Of course. Bai Sheng sat up and said, You guys came with her to settle her matters. If she followed you here, then she must be doing something for you. We'll follow her, Feng Kai said. That's strange. Not only did you guys acknowledge your boss, you're even following her around. This isn't like you guys. Bai Sheng's body suddenly flashed and appeared in front of Sima Yue as he attacked her with his palm. Sima Yue could feel the sharp wind coming from his palm. Her body flashed, and she took a step back to avoid his attack. Then he attacked him with the same posture. What incredible speed! Bai Sheng squinted his eyes and looked at Sima Yue's attack. He clenched his fists and welcomed it. This brat was using his own moves to fight back. Yu, let me help you. Little Seven rolled up her sleeves and was about to rush forward. Little Seven, boss will be fine. Shurchen pulled her and said. But Little Seven was worried. This ugly person looked very powerful. What if Yu was injured by him? Old Bai knows his limits. Didn't you see that they didn't use any spirit energy? Feng Kai said. He didn't use any spiritual power, just pure close-range attacks. Little Seven knew that Sima Yue was good at this, so she was relieved. She didn't insist on going, but she was still prepared to take action. Sima Yue fought with Bai Sheng for more than 10 minutes and she was not at a disadvantage at all. This made Feng Kai and Shurchen very surprised. Old Bai's physical attacks are very strong. I didn't think that he would still be unable to take down boss after so long. Feng Kai sighed. Old Bai suppressed his strength. Moreover, he didn't use any spiritual energy. Shurchen said. That's true. Old Bai's strong point is his spiritual body as one. His fighting power is off the charts. Feng Kai said, but boss is still very strong to be able to fight with him for so long. At least you and I can't. Indeed. Shurchen looked at Sima Yue. Sometimes I wonder if boss is a demon. Maybe. But normal demons aren't as abnormal as her. Feng Kai agreed. She's definitely a demon among demons. Ha! Baixing shouted. The two of them separated from each other and looked at each other cautiously. All right, old Bai. You're already so old. Don't bully our boss, Shurchen said. If you continue fighting, your broken house will collapse. If it really collapses, I'll be happy too. Baisheng looked at Sima Yue with a strong fighting spirit. But Sima Yue kept her palm and said, I don't have the mood to accompany you. Not fighting anymore? Baisheng was having a good time. How could she not fight? Why should I fight with you? Sima Yue glanced at him and said, You attacked me for no reason. I haven't settled the score with you yet. Then come and settle the score with me, Baisheng said. Not interested. Sima Yue turned and walked upstairs and said, Little Seven, let's go and rest. All right. Little Seven knew Baisheng's feeling of wanting to fight, but not being able to. It was definitely uncomfortable to be left hanging. Yu Yu's move was too good. Baisheng saw that Sima Yue really left. He didn't agree and sneaked an attack towards Sima Yue's back. Woo! Sima Yue turned and looked at him. He suddenly froze in midair and couldn't move. His mouth seemed to be saying something, but there was no sound at all. Ha ha! Little Seven saw his comical look and laughed unkindly. Let's go, Little Seven, Sima Yue said. She saw the shaky staircase. She struggled for a while but still gave up. She flew up to the second floor and Little Seven followed her up. At the corner of the second floor, she softly said break, and Baisheng descended from the sky. Baisheng landed and stood properly. When he raised his head, Sima Yue was already gone. Damn, this guy is actually an array master. Why didn't you tell me? He shouted at Feng Kai and the rest. You didn't ask anything and just attacked our boss directly. Feng Kai gloated and said, Our boss didn't pursue the matter with you. That's already very kind of you. You two motherf asterisk curs. See if I don't beat you to death. You couldn't beat us to death in the past and you can't beat us to death now. Shurchen said. There were 10 of you in the past. Now there's only 2. Let's beat you to death first. We have a boss now. Feng Kai didn't mind dragging Sima Yue out. You have guts. Old Bai, how's our boss? Feng Kai asked. Not bad, she has some ability, Bai Sheng said. Although I didn't use spiritual energy, but she's the first one who could fight with me in close combat for so long. Speed, ruthlessness, accuracy, she's not bad at all. She's someone with battle experience. If she went to the blood arena, she'd definitely be in the top 500. Top 500? Shurchen shook his head. If she went, she'd be able to kill her way to the end. Don't belittle the people in the blood arena. All of them don't care about their lives when they fight, Bai Sheng said. But the few of you refused to bow down to others. Why did you acknowledge her as your boss? Shurchen, is your body really fine? Completely fine. Shurchen nodded. Then why did you come back this time? Baisheng waved his hand, and the broken pieces of the table and chairs disappeared. To recruit, Shurchen said faintly. How is it? Do you want to join us? Chapter 936. When Baisheng heard Shurchen's words, he looked at him like he was looking at a monster. Are you kidding me? Shurchen waved his hand, and a broken chair moved over. He sat down and said, Do you think we're joking? Feng Kai had already sat down. The two of them looked at him. Their eyes really didn't look like they were joking. Are you really here to recruit? Baisheng waved his hand and his broken chair flew out. He laid down and touched his waist, which was in pain from the beating just now. This brat was really ruthless. Don't be so sneaky. It's good enough that boss didn't break you apart with his strength. If you want to rub, then rub. Feng Kai said. Don't talk about me. I asked you guys just now, are you guys really here to recruit? Baisheng asked. Yes. You can really consider leaving this place and living outside. Shurchen Yu said. You've been holed up here for so many years. Don't you miss the outside world? What's there to miss? I'm fine here. Baisheng rejected without hesitation. Really? Don't tell me you don't mind that your strength can't increase? Shurchen asked. Baisheng's movements froze for a moment. Then he returned to normal and said, I don't mind. As if. You really think we don't understand you? Fengkai said. Leave here and start a new life. I will be able to walk the continent openly. What do you think? Baisheng said. The people here all have enemies watching them from the outside. Once they walk out of here, they will immediately be hunted down. You still dare to come here to recruit people? Was he planning to bring back a bunch of enemies? Are you sure you're normal now? What do you think? I think it's almost abnormal. Baisheng shook his head and said, Over the years, the people here have always come to seek revenge. No one has ever come to recruit. If this isn't a lunatic, then what is? Old Bai, as a friend, we are telling you all this. This may be your only chance to live openly under the sun. Don't miss it. Fengkai said. Then are you living a normal life now? Have those enemies of yours given up on pursuing you? Baisheng asked in return. There isn't one now, but that doesn't mean there won't be one in the future. Shurchen said. And I can say with certainty that there will be one in the future. Because of her? Baisheng glanced at the second floor. Yes. Shurchen admitted. If you stay by her side, you will realize that she is someone who can bring you hope. Hope. Do you think people like us would still have the idea of hope? Baisheng lamented. The people who enter this place live a dark life. And they are all greedy for life and afraid of death. That's why I'm hiding in this corner, licking my past life. But we see hope. We believe that one day it will be possible. For the sake of that day, we'd rather take a gamble than be imprisoned forever. Fengkai said longingly. The 10 of you have always been restless. If not, you wouldn't have stayed here, and even went out. Baisheng said. But you are still young, you still have drive in life. Forget about my old bones. Since you've made up your mind, we won't say anything more. We should be staying here for a period of time. When we leave, if you change your mind, I think boss will be very willing to accept you. Baisheng laughed, and didn't take his words to heart. To follow a little imp, this kind of life was never what he wanted. And the life that he wanted wasn't something that a little imp could give him. Are we going to the blood arena tonight? From today onwards, we will start recruiting people. But don't tell anyone about this, or else it will cause a commotion. I know, I still have some sense of propriety. Sima Yue returned to the house and casually set up a boundary, then brought Little Seven to the Black Lotus Little Realm. Once she entered, 2 dragons emerged from the waters. Godfather, Godmother. Sima Yue greeted them. Godmother, how do you feel today? I can feel that it seems to be more energetic. Shui Qingman said. Have you guys reached Bloodfiend City? We just arrived. It's still early, so we haven't gone to recruit people yet. Sima Yue said. I'll inject some spiritual energy into it first. Shui Qingman nodded and shifted her abdomen in front of her. Sima Yue found the fetus with ease. She could feel that the little life's vitality had indeed become stronger. After treating Shui Qingman, she said, Godmother has been recuperating well these 2 days. Your body is much better than before. Do you feel that your body has become more energetic? Shui Qingman nodded. Previously when I was pregnant, I felt that my body wasn't feeling well. I thought it was normal because I was injured. But I didn't expect it to be so dangerous. If I didn't come to meet you this time, I don't know what would happen next. Perhaps, I won't be able to save it. You're lucky this time. Wu Lamai said. Originally everyone didn't agree for her to come, but she insisted on coming. They couldn't persuade her, so they agreed. Now he could only think. Luckily he let her come. After a few more days of acupuncture, we can only use pills to recuperate. Sima Yue said, the fetus's condition has stabilized. I'll do some research in a few days, then we can start to improve its innate talent. Aren't you busy with recruiting people recently? It doesn't conflict with this. Sima Yue said, recuperating the fetus in the day, recruiting people at night. And we don't have to do it every day. That's good. It's almost time to go out. I'll go out first. I'll come back tomorrow. Go and do your work. Okay. When Sima Yue held little Seven's hand and came down from the second floor, the three of them were chatting. Seeing Sima Yue coming down, Baisheng squinted his eyes, thinking if he should go and fight with her again. If you can't take me down in 10 minutes, then follow me. If you can't do it, then don't think about fighting with me. Sima Yue said before he could. Baisheng's impulse was instantly suppressed. This fellow, she really knew how to catch people's weakness. It's about time, let's go. Feng Kai stood up and said, You guys really want to go to Blood Arena? Baisheng asked again. Of course, this is our destination this time. Shurchen stood up. The chair he was sitting on just now creaked and fell apart. He shook his head and said, How many times have I told you, don't be so lazy, this thing should be changed to a new one. I'm willing. Baisheng said. Also, if you break my chair, remember to pay for it. This fellow kept these broken things and didn't change them, just to cheat other people's money, right? Chapter 937. Bloodfiend City didn't allow killing, but there was a cruel arena called Blood Arena. Only in the arena of the Blood Arena, life and death did not matter. If there was a problem that couldn't be solved outside the Blood Arena, then it could be solved in the Blood Arena. It was said that people would die in the Blood Arena every day. Most of them died in a cruel manner, and blood flowed endlessly. The Blood Arena was filled with bright red blood every day, which was why it was called the Blood Arena. Under Feng Kai's forceful tug, Baisheng was dragged to the Blood Arena. Along the way, Sima Yue saw that the houses were relatively dilapidated, and there were very few shops. Most of them were pill shops. According to Feng Kai, most of these pill shops sold healing pills, but the quality was not very good. These people are just here to eat and wait for death. Why would they buy other medicinal pills? Only people who frequent the Blood Arena would come to buy pills. Shurchen said. When they arrived at the entrance of the Blood Arena, the gatekeeper was surprised to see Feng Kai and Shurchen. He was even more surprised to see Baisheng following behind them. Master Bai, what brings you here today? A manager came out from inside and bowed to Baisheng. A gust of evil wind. Baisheng glared at Feng Kai as he spoke, then said to the steward, All right, don't just stand there. Go get me a private room. If Master Bai is here, there will definitely be private rooms. Master Bai, please. The steward gestured for him to enter, and Baisheng wobbled in with his hands behind his back. It was said that the Blood Arena's status in Bloodfiend City was second only to the City Lord's residence, and no one dared to behave atrociously in the Blood Arena. Sima Yue looked at Baisheng and didn't expect him to have such a high status in Bloodfiend City. Boss, let's go, Shurchen said to Sima Yue. Yes. They followed him in, and the manager led them directly to the private room upstairs. Sima Yue had been observing the environment ever since she entered. The entire Blood Arena was dark, and only the arena had some light. The surrounding rooms and stands were almost pitch black. Is there no light here? Little Seven asked. Everyone here likes to watch others kill each other in the dark, so they usually don't turn on the lights. If anyone likes it, they can light it themselves. Feng Kai explained to her. These two look unfamiliar. Have they just arrived at Bloodfiend City? The steward asked. Yes. Sima Yue nodded. Then please come here often in the future. This is a very interesting place. The steward said meaningfully. They came to a private room. The steward removed the sign hanging on it and said, Master Bai here. Baisheng took out a top-grade crystal and said, Go down. I'll call you if I need anything. Yes, Master Bai. Then I'll take my leave first. The steward took the high-grade crystal stones and left happily. Why are all the top-grade crystals used here? Sima Yue asked as she looked at the manager's back. Because in Bloodfiend City, absorbing spiritual energy by oneself will not increase one's strength. Only those who absorb high-grade crystals can do so. Therefore, only high-grade crystals are in circulation. Shurchen continued. So before escaping to Bloodfiend City, everyone would exchange their middle and lower grade for upper grade. Then what if they came in without exchanging? Little Seven asked. That doesn't matter. Bloodfiend City has an exchange bank, and they can go there to exchange. Then the exchange rate will definitely be different. Sima Yue said. Yes, they can only exchange for 80% of the outside. 20% less. This bank is really black-hearted. Little Seven said. It's not that the bank is black-hearted. It's just that the people in the bank have to go outside to exchange, and there's a certain risk. Bai Sheng took out a luminous pearl the size of a baby's head. The entire room instantly lit up, but it wasn't as glaring as the lights. Wow, such a huge luminous pearl. Little Seven went up to compare, and this luminous pearl was almost as big as her head. Do you like it? You can exchange with me with crystals. Bai Sheng smiled as he said. Little Seven shook her head. If I like it, I'll just snatch it. There's no point in exchanging. Bai Sheng's words were blocked by her. There aren't many people now. When will the battle start? Sima Yue sat down and asked. There's still half an hour. Are there always so few people? If it was, then they might not be able to choose good people. Most people would only come a few minutes before the battle starts. Shi Chun said. We want to choose people, so we came earlier to see the situation here. Big brother Shi Chun, who are the people who are fighting here? Why would they come here? Little Seven asked curiously. Some have grudges, some are here to fight in the arena. Shi Chun replied. Fight in the arena? What's the benefit of that? According to the number of battles they persevere in, they can get rewards from the blood arena. There are 20 battles in one night. If they can persevere in 20 battles, then they can get 50 upper-grade crystals as a reward. One upper-grade crystal is equivalent to 1,000 middle-grade crystals. Then 50 of them would be 50,000 middle-grade crystals. 50 million lower-grade crystals. To earn so much in one night, that's not bad. Little Seven counted with her fingers. No, most people can't persevere for so long. To be able to persevere in 10 battles is already not bad. Feng Kai said, this kind of person is called the king of the 10 battles. Most of them can only last 3 to 5 battles. Becoming the king of the 10 battles is very impressive. Little Seven said, then when I go down, I will definitely become the king of the 20 battles. Why is the blood arena giving out such a reward? Sima Yue didn't understand. Maybe it's to bring some waves to their stagnant life. Who knows? Bai Sheng snorted at the side. Then what are the conditions to go for the battle? Sima Yue asked. There must be blood. Feng Kai said. If there's no blood, then the battle won't be counted. The blood arena won't give any rewards. Not knowing why, Sima Yue had a weird feeling when she heard that there must be blood. Other than those who are willing to go, the blood arena also has specially trained fighters. Those who challenge these fighters can get more rewards. Shi Chun said. But these fighters are born for battle. Their fighting power is much stronger than normal people. It's not an easy thing to win against them. This blood arena is so strange. Sima Yue mumbled. In this Bloodfiend City, people don't care if it's strange or not. They just want some waves in their lives. Bai Sheng seemed to know something as he said faintly, life here is too boring. We can't cultivate and we don't dare to leave. Getting some excitement from killing has become everyone's only hobby. Old Bai, do you know something? Sima Yue asked. I know you want to know. Have a good fight with me and I'll tell you. Bai Sheng looked at her, his eyes filled with fighting spirit. Alright, it's still the same condition. If you can't take me down in 10 minutes, you have to leave with me. Sima Yue said. Chapter 938. Boring. Bai Sheng shrunk back. At this moment, people came in one after another. Sima Yue didn't pay attention to these anymore, and listened to Shi Chun and Feng Kai's introduction of those people. Who was the previous king of the 10 floors? Who had a strong combat power? Who was the most heavy-handed? Who looked weak but always won? And so on. I didn't expect that after leaving for so long, there would still be so many familiar faces. Feng Kai exclaimed. It's different now, there are many new faces, many more king of the 10 floors. Shi Chun said. You guys haven't seen those king of the 10 floors. How do you know who they are? Little Seven leaned on the windowsill and looked at those people below. Their faces didn't have King of the 10 Floors written on them. How did they recognize them? Feng Kai walked to Little Seven's side and said, "Look at their hands, many of them are wearing bracelets. Champions of the 5 rounds and above can wear this to show their status in the blood arena. 5 rounds is 5 consecutive rings. King of the 10 Floors is 10 consecutive rings. Look at the bracelets they wear, and you'll know if they're King of the 10 Floors." "I see." Little Seven shook her head and looked at those people's bracelets. Suddenly, she shouted as if she discovered a new continent. You, I saw someone wearing 15 bracelets." Feng Kai and Shurchen were shocked by her discovery, and looked towards the direction she pointed. As expected, they saw a small guy wearing 15 bracelets. "He really is 15 rings," Shurchen said in shock. "I didn't expect that there would be someone with 15 rings now." Feng Kai swallowed his saliva. "He looks like a kid. And a gangster." Little Seven pouted. "Gangster?" Sima Yue came over and looked around before she saw that person. A kid who looked like he was in his teens, with dark skin and developed muscles. He looked rather impressive. His body looked young, but his eyes were experienced. When he looked at people, his gaze was filled with vigilance and fighting spirit. As he wasn't wearing a shirt, Little Seven judged him as a gangster. Such a kid is actually the king of the 15 floors? She was speechless. "He's called Mu Lian Xian. He has the blood of a spiritual beast. I don't know why he came here." Bai Sheng laid on his original rocking chair and said leisurely. "How long has he been here?" Shurchen asked. 5 years. "When did you become the king of the 15th floor?" 3 years ago, Bai Sheng said. "After that, because he challenged a fighter from the blood arena, he lost." Sima Yue saw that these people were looking at Mu Lian Xian with eyes full of respect. It seemed like his position here was not bad. "It seems like this Mu Lian Xian's bracelet is the highest." She looked around the wrestling ring and said, "Could it be that after so long, there hasn't been a king of the 20 rounds? In the last 200 years, there has only been one." Feng Kai said. "Oh." Sima Yue was curious. There really was a king of the 20 floor. Feng Kai and Shurchen turned to look at Bai Sheng, him. Sima Yue and Little Seven opened their mouths wide in shock, saying in disbelief, "Old Bai is the king of the 20 floors?" "Yes. No wonder the manager was so respectful when he saw you. I didn't expect him to be the king of the 20 floor." Sima Yue exclaimed. To be the only king of 20 floors in 200 years, how powerful would he be? Moreover, there was suppression in this arena, so he couldn't fully unleash his abilities. If this kind of person could be recruited into the sect, then... "Don't look at me like that. I'll misunderstand that you're interested in me," Bai Sheng said. "I don't want to leave this place." "You don't want to or you don't dare to." Sima Yue looked at him. "You're only here to hide from your enemies. If you can hide in another place, then do you still want to hide here for your entire life? Or should I say, don't you want to take revenge personally?" Bai Sheng's lazy eyes suddenly shot out a terrifying gaze, looking at Sima Yue with murderous intent. His figure flashed, and he appeared at Yue's previous position. And Sima Yue appeared at another space in the room at the same time. By the time Bai Sheng appeared beside her, she had returned to her original position. "Who are you? You know about my past?" Bai Sheng looked at Sima Yue. With that murderous intent, it seemed like he was serious. "I don't know about your past, but I can understand your eyes," Sima Yue said. "Although you always give people a lazy feeling, but if you look carefully, it's not hard to see the hatred and unwillingness in your eyes. You want to kill someone, but you can't. Maybe it's a clan, maybe it's a power, but no matter what, you can't solve it alone. I'm right? Feng Kai and Shurchen were stunned. They knew Bai Sheng for many years, and from his expression, they knew that Yue was right. "Humph, who here isn't being chased and has enemies?" Bai Sheng snorted. "So I didn't say anything wrong," Sima Yue said. "But you're different from others." "What's different?" "Others have the chance to leave, but you don't," Sima Yue said. "Don't say it as if you know others very well." "I didn't say that," Sima Yue said. "Boss, why do you say he doesn't?" Feng Kai was confused. They knew Bai Sheng for so many years. Could it be that they didn't know more than her in a day? He won't live for long. Sima Yue spat out a few words, making Bai Sheng and Shi Chen stunned. They looked at Bai Sheng and asked, "Boss, is what you said true?" Bai Sheng looked at Sima Yue's confident look and didn't say anything. He returned to his rocking chair and didn't say anything. What's going on? Shi Chen looked at Sima Yue, hoping that she could clear up their confusion. He's poisoned, looking at him, he'll probably live for 100 or 200 years. Sima Yue said. I don't know why, but he can suppress the poison here. Once he leaves, he'll probably die immediately. But because he suppressed it for too long, your body can't take it anymore. Old Bai, is what boss said true? Bai Sheng closed his eyes, his voice was a little hoarse. Yes. She's right. How can it be? Boss, can you save him? Feng Kai asked anxiously. I haven't even checked his condition. How would I know if I can save him? Sima Yue shrugged her shoulders. She wasn't at the stage where she could see through someone's condition with just one look. Then you can check on him. Shi Chen looked at her with pleading eyes. You guys care a lot about him, Sima Yue said. When we first came here, we were almost killed by others. He saved us. Feng Kai said. Saved your life? Didn't you say that killing outside the blood field is not allowed here? Huh? There are always people who don't want their lives. Shi Chen said, Boss, old Bai he won't follow me even if I save him. Why should I save him? Sima Yue rejected him directly. Chapter 939. Boss. Feng Kai still wanted to persuade him, but Shi Chen pulled him out. Shi Chen shook his head at him. His eyes told him that boss had his own plans, and that they did not need to worry about it. Sima Yue turned her gaze to the young man in the arena. She had a determined look on her face as she sized up the others. Feng Kai and Shi Chen sat beside Bai Sheng and asked, What's wrong with your body? That's what happened. What else could it be? Bai Sheng closed his eyes, not intending to elaborate. Don't you want to take revenge for all the suffering you've suffered in this lifetime? Don't you want to take revenge for your marriage? Shi Chen asked. Who told you about marriage? Bai Sheng looked at Shi Chen. Once when you were drunk you said, Marriage, how can I avenge you? Shi Chen said. I think she must be very important to you. That's why you can't forget her. The reason why I'm still alive is to find a way to let me die without regrets. Bai Sheng took a deep breath. But I realized other than revenge, I can't think of anything else. Then let's take revenge. Feng Kai said. Even if we can't kill them all, we can kill as many as we can. Bai Sheng shook his head and glanced at Sima Yue's back. Just like what she said, I can't leave this place. Because of the poison in your body? Bai Sheng nodded and continued. I don't know why, but when I'm here, the poison will be suppressed. Once you leave this place, you won't be able to travel more than 100 miles. You'll feel uncomfortable and lose all of your spiritual power, not to mention finding someone to take revenge on. So strange? In Bloodfiend City, the poison doesn't exist. Bai Sheng continued. So I can't leave this place. But he wasn't willing to give up. He didn't want to die. He wanted to live and take revenge. Your health has deteriorated recently, hasn't it? Shi Chen asked. It's not that it's getting worse, it's just that sometimes there will be intermittent fainting, sometimes there will be weakness all over. Bai Sheng's voice became softer and softer. He closed his eyes and fell asleep. Old Bai. The two of them shouted twice, but there was no response. Have you fainted? Feng Kai pushed his body, but there was no response. No wonder he wasn't willing to come here with us today. He should have known that he would fall asleep tonight. Shi Chen said. It seems like he trusts you guys quite a lot. Sima Yue sighed as she walked over and looked at the person who had fallen asleep on the rocking chair. If it wasn't someone he was familiar with, he wouldn't have fainted so easily. Boss, can you show him? Feng Kai asked. Of course. Sima Yue said. I want to keep him. But didn't you say that she wouldn't treat him? Little Seven ran over. Wasn't he awake just now? Sima Yue said, "He's such an arrogant person, he definitely won't be happy if I stick to him. Why don't we grind it down a bit? Then why do you need treatment now? Isn't he unconscious now?" Sima Yue patted Shichen's shoulder. Shichen immediately stood up and gave her his seat. Sima Yue sat properly and pulled his hand. "I didn't expect this hand to look so good." You're teasing him," Little Seven said. "I'm praising something beautiful." Sima Yue held his wrist and checked his body. How is it? Can he be saved?" Little Seven asked. "If he couldn't be saved, then don't waste your energy. It's a little complicated," Sima Yue said. "We don't have enough time tonight, we'll check again later." After that, she took out her silver needles and pricked his chest twice. The unconscious person slowly woke up. "He won't fall asleep for now. Remember to ask him to give me the consultation fee, it's very expensive." Sima Yue kept her needles and told Shichen and the rest. "How long have I been asleep?" Baixing asked. "A few minutes." Suddenly, a burst of cheers came from below, indicating that tonight's blood arena was about to begin. "It's starting?" Sima Yue put her silver needles back and went to the window to watch with Little Seven. She was here to check out the place and had no plans to go down. "There's a restriction on the arena. It will suppress the people's abilities when they go up," Sima Yue said as she looked at the situation on and off the arena. "There's always a restriction here," Shichen said, "and I don't know what it is. It will cause one's spiritual power to decrease and increase one's body's strength. So on this stage, many people will directly use their bodies to attack. If they don't use their bodies to attack, how can they bleed so much?" Sima Yue said faintly. "What?" Little Seven asked. "Nothing. Let's continue watching," Sima Yue said. One of the people on the arena had his arm chopped off and the blood kept flowing. Fresh blood splattered on the arena and was absorbed by the arena, leaving behind a red mark. That person had his arm chopped off, but he didn't admit defeat. He took out a pill to stop the bleeding and swallowed it. His other hand waved a knife and slashed towards his opponent. Maybe it was because of the stimulation from losing his arm, or maybe it was because he went crazy after seeing blood. This person's eyes were scarlet red and he went crazy. His actions were much more ferocious than before. His battle power exploded in an instant. Little Seven was speechless. Battle power? Sima Yue frowned. Why did she still feel that something was wrong? Because he went crazy, his attack power increased by a lot. His opponent was slashed a few times by him, and lost a lot of blood. Then his opponent went crazy too. In less than half an hour, the battle ended. Neither side won and both of them fell into a pool of blood. They breathed out more than they breathed in. The judge at the side of the blood arena knocked on the bell. A few people came up and pulled the two people away. Fresh blood flowed down their bodies, drawing two lines. Who wins in this situation? There's no winner, Feng Kai said. The blood arena will give each of them a pill to save their lives. Then what will happen to them in the future? After they recover, they will continue to fight in the arena. Continue? This is the life of the people here. There's no tomorrow, only seeking excitement for one night. They would rather spend time recuperating than to muddle through the days. Shichen said. It's because we can't stand this kind of life that we left this place in the first place. Sima Yue somewhat understood their thoughts. In this place, even if they cultivated, their strength wouldn't increase. Hence, everyone wouldn't waste time cultivating. But if they didn't cultivate, they would have nothing to do. They didn't want to leave and could only muddle through the days here. This kind of feeling, to a spirit master, wasn't good. Because Feng Kai and the rest had more people, they had a chance to survive if they went out. However, the others didn't have their courage. Hence, they could only stay here and live, but there was no future. That Mulian Xian went up. Little Seven pointed at the person on the arena and shouted. Chapter 940. Sima Yue looked over and saw that Mulian Xian had indeed gone up. Hooligan, don't wear clothes, Little Seven said. It's just that he's half naked, Just pretend you didn't see it. Sima Yue said. Since he went up, those who were ready to make a move went into hibernation. It seems like they don't want to fight him head-on. If I went up, I would definitely send him flying with one palm, Little Seven said. Unfortunately, Yu said that she didn't want to go tonight, so she could only watch. No one is coming up tonight again? Mu Lian Xian glanced at the people below. Looks like he used to often empty arenas, Shurchen said. Does an empty arena mean that no one is going to fight? Little Seven asked. Yes. Shurchen nodded. Then wouldn't he have no income? If it's empty, the blood arena will give him a top-grade crystal. Shurchen said. But one crystal for one night is simply not enough. It's better to fight in the arena. Who said there aren't any? A rough voice came from outside. Everyone looked over and saw a 2-meter-tall man squeezing through the crowd. The burly man was wearing a coarse cloth vest, revealing his strong muscles. His figure was probably equivalent to 2 Sima Yue. What a strong person. Seven looked at that figure and opened her mouth. She looked really cute. King of the 11th floor, for less than Mu Lian Xian. Sima Yue looked at the bracelet in front of her chest. Because his arm was too thick, he couldn't wear the bracelet, so he took a collar and wore it around his neck. It's Dama. Someone shouted. Big Ma is here. Haha, there's going to be a good show today. Yes. I didn't expect that Mu Lian Xian and Dama would meet today. Dama said that he wanted to fight with him a long time ago. Today he came for Mu Lian Xian. Also, after defeating Mu Lian Xian, his position in the blood arena will rise again. This Big Ma has been very arrogant recently. You've only been here for a short while, and you've already challenged several kings of the 10th floor consecutively. He's here to challenge the king of the 15th floor today. If he wins, does that mean he's going to challenge the king of the 20th floor? He dares to look for the king of the 20th floor? TSK, stop bragging. Who would dare to challenge the king of the 20th floor? That's an invincible legend. If he's not afraid of death, he can go and try. What king of the 20 floors? I've never seen him fight in all these years. If you ask me, he can only be the king of 20 rounds back then. If it were now, I don't even know if he could last 10 rounds. That's right. He's just a legend. Now that so many powerful people have come, if he has the ability, come up and fight with everyone again. We'll see if you can defeat the king of the 15th floor. Sima Yue turned around and looked at Bai Sheng. He still had his eyes closed and rocked his rocking chair gently, as if he didn't hear anything. They are challenging your dignity. Don't you want to beat them up? Little Seven said. What's there to care about? Bai Sheng replied without hesitation. These people are just looking for pain in their mouths. TSK. Little Seven ignored her and turned around to continue looking at the arena below. You're Mu Lian Xian? Dama carried his broadsword and raised his chin, looking at Mu Lian Xian proudly. Mu Lian Xian crossed his arms in front of his chest and said, You're the Dama who's been in the limelight recently, the new king of the 11 floors? That's right, that's me. Dama touched his nose with his left hand and said, I heard that you don't come out often, so when you do, it must be an empty arena. Today I specially came to look for you, to see how powerful you are. Come on, fight with me, and let me defeat your empty legend. TSK, people without power all like to talk nonsense. Little Seven said from upstairs, not having a good impression of this big man. Who's farting there? Dama's hearing was good and heard Little Seven's disdain towards him. Do you need to care about your grandaunt's farting? Little Seven retorted. Who are you? How dare you look down on me, old ma? Dama shouted. You have the cheek to call yourself old ma? Little Seven said disdainfully. I think you're more like a bootlicker. Hey, that hooligan, you'll beat this bootlicker up later. If you can't beat him up, I'll come down and beat you up. Sima Yue felt that she should ask Fatty Chu to make a mask for Little Seven. If she didn't take it off, she wouldn't be able to speak. Mu Lian Xian glanced over indifferently. Someone actually called him a hooligan. It seemed like someone was tired of living. He thought that he would see a group of overbearing people, but he didn't expect to see a pair of deep and bright eyes. Sima Yue looked at him. Although this guy's eyes were very violent, they were surprisingly clean. What a strange person, she said to herself. Mu Lian Xan and Sima Yue looked at each other for a while, then retracted their gazes and said to Dama, "Let's begin." He wasn't a gentleman either. After he finished speaking, he raised his fist and attacked, not caring if Dama was ready or not. Their bodies collided, showing the difference between the two. Mu Lian Xian's body was slightly smaller, not much bigger than Sima Yue. This Dama's body was almost twice his size. Although he was small, his strength wasn't small. A punch landed on Dama's stomach, sending him flying a few meters away. Although Dama loved to talk big, he did indeed have the ability. Otherwise, he wouldn't have become the king of the 11th floor. His right leg retreated, and with a force from his body, he sent Mu Lian Xian flying back. Without giving him time to react, he waved the big knife in his hand and chopped towards him. Chopping and retreating, the two of them moved a few meters on the stage, but they didn't hurt Mu Lian Xian. Ha! Mu Lian Xian stepped on the big knife and used the force to jump up, landing on Dama's head. Dama immediately waved his knife and chased after him, chopping towards the top of his head. Mu Lian Xian stepped on the ground and flew into the air, avoiding the knife. Dama was fiercely kicked by him, causing him to feel dizzy. That knife almost chopped his head off. Mu Lian Xian took this opportunity to do a flip in the air and landed. His right hand clenched into a fist and directly hit Dama's head. Dama felt danger and immediately used his knife to block, but he couldn't block his powerful strength. Pooh! Dama spat out a mouthful of blood. Mu Lian Xian did a flip and landed a punch on his chest. Dama's sturdy body flew towards the edge of the stage like a piece of paper. Ha! The moment Dama fell off the stage, he used his leg to hook onto the edge of the stage. Using the knife in his hand to support himself, the knife bent and bounced him back onto the stage. He didn't completely leave the stage, so it wasn't considered a loss. He's about to go crazy. Sima Yue looked at his scarlet eyes and said. As expected, Dama wiped off the blood at the corner of his mouth and curled into a meaningful smile. Then he charged towards Mu Lian Xian. No matter if it was his speed or strength, he was much stronger than before. Both of their battle prowess exploded after seeing blood. This is really strange. Sima Yue looked at his eyes that had lost all rationality and said faintly, "You're tuning in to the Echoes of the Heart YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories."